Music licensing reimagined.
Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Noche. We have Diego Lopez going against Gene Silva. And yeah, we got an interesting card coming up this Saturday. These Noche cards have, seemed to have always delivered. They've always been fun cards. We got another one coming up. And yeah, kind of a weird one. If you look at the Tapology, it's like there's been like 20 canceled fights.
Yeah.
Lots of late notice replacements. We got some more newcomers as well this week. So yeah, kind of a card with a lot of turnarounds, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun card. What is up, Weezy? Are you looking forward to Noche UFC?
Yeah, it should be a fun one, man. Anytime you get Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic, and I'm not finished. Let me finish, Brady. Cedricus Dumas versus Zach Reese. Those two fights, you're lucky to get two fights that great in the same year. We got it on the same card. San Antonio, Texas, going to be absolutely the roof is going to be blown off that city with those two fights on the card. And then, hey, we got Tatiana Suarez on this card against Lemos. That's a really compelling fight. But like you said, this thing got blown up. It was supposed to be something completely different, and now we've got some really weird shufflings and new fights added. And yeah, a lot of injuries have kind of like ruined the original plans of this card. But like you said, man, these Noche cards always seem to deliver in terms of action and great fights. So I hope we get more of the same this Saturday.
Speaking of SD Dumas, we may have a potential special guest tonight.
Oh, man, that would be huge, Brady. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Should I send him the link on
Yeah, dude, get it out there, man. Get it out there. The Reapers getting a chance to go back to the drum board and get a win here, and a much needed one at that, Brady. So and I mean, like, you get kicked in the head with an ankle monitor, that's gonna hurt. Might not knock you out, but it's gonna hurt. So we could see what happens here.
Did you see what he posted on Twitter today?
Yeah, I think his bank account's empty.
Yeah, he said something like he has to pay like legal fees and something.
Oh, dude, lawyers. You just don't want to be paying lawyers. They're gonna really drain your account, man.
They are. I kind of feel bad.
Got 14 different charges outstanding against you, Brady. I mean, like, there's probably multiple lawyers. So yeah, I mean, like, he needs a win. Cedricus Dumas needs a win, and he gets a chance to go to San Antonio, Texas, and do that on Saturday.
Maybe all the proceeds from tonight's show can go to SD. Why not?
Yeah, man. Dude, let's get it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, he's a great guy, right? He stays out of trouble. Good head on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He may not seem like a great guy to Zach Reese on Saturday night. Zach Reese might not think he's a great guy, but we're going to get to watch it, and I'm going to be there.
Me too. What a hilarious fight. And that Dusko fight's freaking, like, if did they sit back there and try to come up with the most hilarious fight possible? Oh yeah, Dusko Todorovic, Jose Medina, that'd be hilarious.
Dude, that like Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard probably took some mushrooms. And like about 3 hours into that trip, they made that fight, and they made Reese versus Dumas, and they just laughed for like about an hour and a half straight.
That's what I would do. All right. So I need help in the chat. I didn't even make a who needs help poll because I don't know. So if you're in the chat, let me know who needs help. I saw some names. I saw Mauricio Hufi. So I'll add Mauricio Hufi. Definitely needs some help working that grappling. Mauricio Hufi. I saw Reese McKee. So I have Hufi and Reese McKee. Hardwick took the fight on very short notice.
Yeah. And you know what, Brady? Hardwick shouldn't have been there in the first place.
No,
you should have put Kawe back on a plane home and said, "We got you the next time we come to Brazil, brother. Here's some money for you. Here's $5,000. Here's something." But like that fight should have never been made. And it happens every goddamn week, Brady. Every week we get set up with some fight on Tuesday or Wednesday. We get somebody that's signed to the UFC that has no business being there. No business being there. And then they got to cut them like a fight later, or they show up and they're 7 pounds heavy, like that Ewert dude was when they signed him on Fight Week like a month ago, or you were going out there and getting knocked out in 30 seconds. Harry Hardwick's getting wheeled out of the goddamn octagon in a wheelchair, Brady, looking like Darren Elkins after the Pierce fight. It's just ridiculous when they do these Fight Week signings.
Yeah, I know. I hate it. Gustafson. Who's Amon?
Amon Ross St. Brown?
Amon Ross. He doesn't. I was going against him today, so I was happy with his performance today. Okay. Well, here's what we'll do. Get some help. Andreas Gustafson, Reese McKee, Mauricio Hoop. So we'll add Gustafson. So we need one more, guys. Andreas.
Shauna Bannon.
I mean, she obviously needs help.
And I mean, Harry Hardwick kind of needs some help. The guy's in a wheelchair, He got his calf kicked off.
Yeah, Bannon. I mean, everybody knows it, but we'll put her. That's a freebie. She needs serious help. Shauna Bannon. Jeez. Okay, so we got some interesting options. We got Mauricio Hoofy, Reese McKee, Andreas Gustafson, and Shauna Bannon. What a list there. What a list. All right, well, let's get into some chats, and then we'll do should we do the recap first or the chats first?
Let's do a recap first.
Okay, I'll kick it off. And like we were talking about before the show, I mean, the card was phenomenal. In my opinion, it was probably the best card of the year. I'd say it was between this card or the card in Chicago for the best card of the year. 11 finishes. I think it tied the record or maybe even set the record for most knockouts on a card ever. So yeah, the card was very, very awesome from a fan perspective. From a betting perspective, though, I just didn't have much action. I passed a lot, and that was kind of to my detriment. Like everything I passed on hit. I was looking at the Waters-Patterson under 2.5. I was looking at the Dalia Tybura fight ends by knockout. I was looking at the main event fight goes to decision. So kind of kept it light, kept it short and sweet. I wasn't feeling the card, but a lot of the reads were correct. But I finished up like a little bit over a quarter unit for the week. Had my biggest plays was on the under 2.5 in the Saint Denis fight, minus 175 for 2.5 units. And then I had 2.2 units on the Omar C inside the distance prop. So those right there sealed me a winning night. But I did have a loss on, this was extremely frustrating. I had the over 1.5 in the Modestus Craig fight, and I never bet overs ever. And I was watching that fight. I'm like, this is going the distance. I mean, there's no way this fight's going to finish. Paul Craig and Modestus, they're clinching up here at range. Modestus landed one good strike at range over the course of 5 minutes. And then Craig pulls guard with 20 seconds left and then gets TKO'd after the fight, after the first round's over. It's like, what? All you can do is laugh. All you can do is laugh. So yeah, I bet an over for the first time in a while, and it not only loses, but loses in hilarious fashion. I had to the 2-3 props on the Gustafson. Speaking of losing in hilarious fashion, Gustafson lost in 54 seconds. He went full, what, and that's kind of what I was expecting out of Gustafson when he first got into the UFC. I mean, that's what he does, and that's his game plan, just full, what, and he certainly did that and got knocked out in 54 seconds. And then I had a late ad. I saw the Reese McKee plus 3.5 at minus 175. I liked it a lot because I thought he had the most of the finishing upside. I thought that, hey, this guy Reese McKee can win at least one round. I saw a big staph infection on the chest of Axel Sola, and Reese McKee went out there and just proceeded to absolutely shit the bed. I mean, one of the worst performances I've ever seen. Sola looked like he was death gassed 5 minutes in, and I'm loving the plus 3.5. And then he gets knocked out in the third round. Bad stoppage, but still gets knocked out nonetheless. So finished up, and yeah, that's 4 cards in the positive for me in a row. I was on a 4 or 5 fight skid a month ago, and now I'm on a 4 fight skid in the positive, or wouldn't call it a skid. I'm in the positive 4 cards in a row, looking to make it 5 at UFC Noche, and a lot more spots are sticking out this time around for this card. I'm hoping the violence can carry on because I'm looking at a lot of violent spots for Noche this weekend. Weezy, how did UFC Paris go?
I was down a couple of units. My money line bets were on Reese McKee. I got him at plus 120, had 1.5 units on him. I had him as the ass shaving of the week, man. I really thought that was the spot where we were going to really see McKee turn around after the Frunza fight and get a little bit of momentum going. A debutante up a weight class that clearly has staff, and I just don't know what happened there, man. I mean, like, Sola looked great, though, in my opinion. The striking looked really crisp. He did enough with the grappling, and he just won the rounds. Like that. It was a completely trash stoppage, but it didn't matter. I was going to lose that bet anyway. And like you said, man, it looked like Sola was gassed after round 1, and I was like, oh, man, you don't want to get tired against Reese McKee. He's going to come out there and win rounds 2 and 3 here and cash this bet. And no, I mean, like, the contrary. He lost round 2. He lost round 3. So, yeah, pretty bizarre performance there by Reese McKee. I don't know what happened, but the problem was that was a short notice fight for both guys, Brady. So I probably shouldn't have been involved at all. But it was a pretty clean loss. Another pretty clean loss was Trey Waters, the Trey Waters money line at plus 150 against Sam Patterson. The fight played out like I thought it would. I thought that the reason Sam Patterson was a minus 180 to minus 200 favorite was because people thought that he was going to grapple. And I was saying, man, he's not going to grapple. This guy can't wrestle at all. And Trey Waters actually got really good takedown defense. I was like, man, this is going to be a striking match. And now Sam Patterson's finally facing somebody that's much taller and much longer than what he is, actually. And he went out there and he knocked out another striker, Brady. 2 in a row that this guy that we thought was a grappler has went out there and knocked out 2 strikers in a row. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I remember being like, oh, I think that Sam Patterson's a phenomenal prospect. And then he goes out there and he gets knocked out by Yanal Ashmos. And then you're like, well, looks like I was wrong about that. And then since then, sometimes you can have that one little bump in the road and you can actually recover from it and just get on a roll. And that's what Sam Patterson has done. And then the one pick that everybody was just reaming me for, Brady.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you, man, I said I like Benoit Saint Denis on last week's show. And last week's show was, dude, we had the new graphics up and people were fucking ripping us for the graphics, saying that they hated them. The fucking bring back the stats. And then I say that I like Benoit Saint Denis to win a fight against a much less experienced guy with a massive strength of schedule advantage over this guy, a massive grappling advantage over this guy. And people in the comments are talking about, like, you would think that I had said something horrible, I mean, so 1.5 units on Benoit Saint Denis at plus 170 cashes for a little over 2.5 units. That was a nice win. I mean, like, I didn't think it would be that dominant. I didn't think he would drown Rufy and limit him to 5 significant strikes over about 8 minutes. But yeah, man, if you were laying juice on Mauricio Rufy, you had, that was an embarrassing one, and I've been on the wrong side of some embarrassing bets lately, Brady. So I mean, I can speak pretty candidly about that. So was on the right side there. My prop bets all went tits up. Dude, I had Bukowskis by decision at plus 360.
Hey, it was looking good for 4 minutes and 59 seconds.
Dude, he knocks him out with no time left in the round. And then Paul Craig just lays there. And I just remember saying, I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. Because, like, I was just sitting back there going, this is a great bet, dude. Modestus is cruising. Paul Craig's not doing anything. And Modestus was doing what Modestus always does. And then he just lands a hellbow from within Paul Craig's guard, too. A place where you probably shouldn't be that offensive because he might be able to latch onto something and put you in a triangle or armbar. Nah, man, he split his head wide open and retired him. Had a quarter unit bet on Mason Jones to win by submission at plus 1,000. Great bet. This close to cashing. And if it would have cashed, I would have finished up 0.05 units. But he just didn't really know how to finish that Kimura. He didn't take the right angle on it. And then my probability parlay, which I had 1 unit on, at plus 457. Was 2/3 of the way home, Brady. Gomez by decision, check. Mauricio Hufi versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Fight doesn't start round 3, check. And then I had Sam Hughes by decision. And she goes out there and finishes Shauna Bannon. It is what it is. So, yeah, down 2.7 units. If Sam Hughes doesn't find a finish and wins a decision, I'm up like 2.5 units. If Mason Jones finds that submission, I'm up like 6 units. So I was close. But the money line bets, they just, the Reese McKee money line bet was a bad one, man. The Trey money line bet was a bad one. So I got punished for those and wound up down to 2.7.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling Saint Denis was going to win after all the bitching and moaning in the comments. I mean, you got a lot of flack for that. And typically when that's the case, a lot of those bitches and moaners are wrong.
Well, I mean, whenever you see somebody in the comments of a video and they're really angry at you for being on the opposite side of them, it's a pretty clear indication of that it's like their first month gambling, that they think that like you can be 100% positive about an MMA fight and you're not stupid about it, right? Only after some years of doing this do you get humbled enough times to where you realize that you're playing a numbers game here and you're not playing a fight picking game, because there's so much variance in this sport. I mean, if you just look at the last card and tell, you fucking kidding me? Dude, there were 11 finishes in 13 fights, Brady? Or was it 12 and 14?
It was 11 and 13.
11 and 13. Think about that. I mean, like, I think I was picking something like 9 decisions, So it was a wild one, man. There's a lot of variance. And, yeah, it was cool to see Benoit really get the job done there. But, the rest of my reads were just not quite there. Like in an alternate universe, that Bukowskis by decision cashes if he doesn't land that elbow at the end of the first, perhaps. And, the Mason Jones sub finishes and other things go right, but I was a couple notches short there.
Yeah, I'll never bet a Mason Jones sub prop ever again. After the Jeremy Stevens fight, I mean, what are you doing, Mason? What are you doing?
Yeah, that was wild because he got 8 takedowns and he didn't shoot a takedown until like there was a minute left in each of the 3 rounds, So yes. That was a wild one. And what a performance by Mason Jones. What a fight that was.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite fight of the card.
Oh, it was amazing. Because if Balaji does that to 2/3 of the division, he wins the fight. If that's not Mason Jones, he probably finishes them in the first round. But then Mason came back, man, and just, I mean, put it on him. What a performance. What a great back and forth fight that was.
Yeah. So let's talk about the parlay, the piping, and the milking, why don't we? So the parlay did not come through. We went 0-1. 0-1. We had Keita. We had Keita, which by the way, I'm pissed. I lost. I bet the fight ends by knockout at plus 220. Got a ton of CLV on it, and then the fight's off. That would have hit on the most violent card of the or most violent card of the year. It would have absolutely hit. So that was 2.2 units down the drain there. But yeah, Keita misses weight by a couple pounds, and Pitbull does not accept the fight. Fight's off. We lose the Keita money line. And then the other leg was Brad Tavares, which, by the way, Brad Tavares should probably be on the who needs to get some help list. I mean that was pretty rough. So that lost. The piping of the week came through, and it came through with flying colors. It was Modestas Bukauskas to pipe Paul Craig on site. He retired him. He retired him. And I was actually going to, call for Paul Craig to retire or get cut. But he did retire. I was going to do a petition because Paul Craig just looked awful these last couple of years. Yeah. He's lost that dog. He's lost that danger factor. He turned into a point fighting kickboxer. He does that spinning shit that doesn't work. He's not, I don't know what he's doing. So I'm glad Paul Craig retired. He had a fun career. I mean, the first three-fourths of his career was absolutely fun, but he just turned into, I don't know, just a point fighter. I mean, and he's horrible at it. So Paul Craig retired due to Modestas, because I think he signed like a 5-fight contract. Somebody said, I heard on Twitter, he signed like a 5-fight contract last fight or something after the Bellato fight.
Oh, wow.
And then, it sounded like a 5 fight, and then he retired. So very interesting. And then the milking of the week was Omar C to milk Brenton Hibero, and he did so, and he milked him. It was a quick milking in the very first round. All right, let's get into the comments. And by the way, the person who needs to get some help in last place, believe it or not, Reese McKee, 8%. In third place, Sean Bannon, 17%. In second place, Andreas Gustafsson with 28%. And in first place, Mauricio Hufi, 44%. What a performance by Mauricio Hufi. I thought Benoit Anthony had an incredible game plan. The game plan was don't let Hufi strike at all. Give him no room. Don't let him strike. And what I thought was probably the worst part of the performance from Hufi is when he did get the opportunity to strike, because there were like about a minute or so where he did have the opportunity. The fight was at range. Hufi didn't throw anything. It was actually quite bizarre. So, Hufi definitely needs to get help, potentially work on that grappling. All right, let's get into the comments here. And if my StreamYard would work, here we go. We got Rob Falling Down checking in from X. What is up? We got Daz File saying not the best Noche card ever, but some bangers and another chance to make a few units. Let's go. I'm looking forward. There's some weird fights, but I'm looking forward to it. Reese McKee fights like he's on fentanyl. I mean, that's a perfect explanation of his fighting style. I mean, if you imagine somebody on fentanyl, you imagine somebody like Reese McKee, just super tough, blocking punches with his face coming forward like a zombie. I think that makes a lot of sense. Gene Silva fight week. Yeah, can the Fighting Nerds get back on track? Went 0-2 in Paris. Can they get back on track? We're about to find out. Cedricus Dumas went back to the drum board, so look out. Apparently, he got the ankle monitor off this time around. We will be seeing, as long as he doesn't get arrested, we'll be seeing SD Dumas on the card this Saturday. We got Forrest in the building. What is up? On time as usual. Yes, sir. Never late. Perfect record. Yeah, we actually showed up, I believe, a couple minutes before start time tonight, just to show respect to the fans out there. How fun was the Jones-Oki fight? Hell of a scrap. Jones is a beast. Yeah, he's tough, and that toughness came through. I mean, I kind of figured that Oki would blow his load. I mean, how couldn't you blow your load after what he did to Mason Jones? And you can't blow your load. You can't blow your load in the cage. We got Wakos saying, I did it again. I bet on Ashkabab and Walter Walker on the Paris card last night. You did what? You bet on Ashkabab and Walter Walker? They weren't on the Paris card.
Yeah, they weren't on. Neither one of them were on that card. Oh,
no. Any day now, boys. We got City Boy reposted the stream. Appreciate you. If you guys are checking in from X, don't be afraid to hit the repost. We would definitely appreciate that. This card is complete dog shit aside from the main. I mean, there's some hilarious fight. I mean, it's going to make for some hilarious content like SD Dumas. I mean, that's hilarious. Duska Todorovic, Jose Medina. That's pretty hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Suarez Lemos. That should be fun.
Oh, that's a great fight.
But yeah, good thing it's not a pay-per-view because that would be bad. But we're getting it for free. I mean, free fights. What can you do? We got Fluffy Hernandez in the building. What is up, Fluffy?
What's up?
Ribeiro needs a lot of help. Bannon needs a ton of help. Hufi needs a ton. All of them need help. Rufa needs help. Agreed. Send Hufi to Dagestan. Agreed. The refs need help.
Yeah.
Refs have a bad performance.
Yeah, there were some weird ones, man. I mean, like Herb Dean's stoppage of the key fight was just horrible.
That was a weird stoppage there.
Yeah, that was a really bad one. And I think there were some, like, even like the Hardwick fight. Like, what were they waiting for there?
I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. For him to lose his leg, maybe?
I mean, he's got wheeled out in a wheelchair.
He reminded me of Herbert Burns getting carried out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Good. We need to get Herbert Burns back in there.
I think I don't know. I think he's done.
Ah, damn it. The real question is, what's Bannon's Feet Finder score? It is, I'm actually on WikiFeed. It's 4.45.
Oh yeah, that's pretty low actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty low. Her ass score would be a 5 out of 5. My gosh.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even see that fight. I was literally still sleeping from the night before. I was up late, so I got to go back and watch that one and the Fakradinov Gustafson fight.
Yeah, she might be the first one on the wiki ass page. We'll put her on her. We'll give her a 5. I mean, she's got an ass on her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she does.
absolutely. You don't see an ass like that nowadays. Not in 2025. You don't.
Nope.
Yeah, I've been saying Brad Tavares is washed since after the Dricus fight. I've been saying I can't wait to fade Brad Tavares. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
well, he has washed now. I mean, like you're getting knocked
Oh.
out by that dude. That's a bad look.
Oh God. this is true. Betting a Paul Craig fight and being surprised with the outcome. That is a fair point.
Yeah.
Breachek looked awesome. He did look 20 times better than he did in his debut. I didn't think Tavares looked bad. I thought he looked really bad. To the Hoofy fight, I don't think it started yet. I think it's starting later tonight. Mauricio Hoofy, no known weakness.
None. He had no known weaknesses going into that fight.
Yeah, some of the scores on DK on Saturday were just ridiculous. I mean, with 11 finishes, that's bound to happen. I'm a cuck. I don't know. Brutal elbow to end Craig's career. Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. Poll closed with 69 votes. Love to see it. You do love to see it. The fighting nerds were caught off guard by. I mean, how could you not?
It's the same thing that happened with Dricus du Plessis. There was just no way that he could know that Hamzat was going to wrestle, and he got completely caught off guard by it. That's why they got to run that one back. I mean, now that Dricus knows he's going to wrestle, he could game plan for that.
Yeah, I guess now you know. If you don't know, now you know, huh? I told y'all guys about Sean. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's very nice. Alexander Hernandez slept with my sister in college after a night out at a bar called Bucky's in San Antonio. That could be true because Hernandez is a Texas guy.
Yeah, Alexander. Okay, I thought he was talking about Anthony because I'm like, that's bullshit. Anthony's from California, but no, Alexander is a Texas guy. So wow, was it your stepsister that you were going to marry, Evan?
He's gonna marry a stepsister. Oh God.
Well, remember
Yeah,
when I got confused and they, he said that my parents were, not happy about me getting married, and I didn't realize he was saying that he was going to marry his stepsister or whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what Evan's a wild one, man.
Yeah, he is wild for sure.
Yeah.
Gomes doesn't suck, but he needs to go for it. I mean, that's why we call him William Split Decision Gomi. But I was actually wrong. Weezy, I called a split decision, and it was actually a 29-28 fight.
Unanimous? Oh, man. So
unanimous.
Close. So close.
So I was wrong about the Gomi fight. But Ruchala actually fought a lot better than I expected. I kind of thought Gomi would actually kind of go through him. But yeah, 29-28. 29-28. All right. He must be new to Statickers. I mean, this
he's got to be new.
Hey, this is what we deal with every week, and this is why we love the show. I also slept with Alexander Hernandez. God, no, that was my blood sister. Blood's thicker than water, but I must say it is not thicker than my. Okay.
Oh, hey-oh. All right. Here you go.
So we talked about the milking. I think we talked about everything. The only thing we didn't talk about is our sponsor, and that is none other than Avery. Shout out to Avery for sponsoring the show, guys. Go give him a follow at MMA_very on X. Appreciate you, Avery, for sponsoring the show. Now it is time to bring in our special guest. He is fighting this weekend at Noche UFC, the one and only SD Dumas. Could you imagine?
I was hoping you pulled it off, dude. I was thinking, holy shit, Brady pulled it off. God damn it.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious. I'll send him the link. If he wants to come on, we can come on and talk about the fight. I'll get the link over to him. but no, no, no.
I
No.
fucking follow him on Twitter, man.
Yeah. I don't think I follow him, but I'm gonna try to get him this
What do you
link.
mean you don't follow him? What
I
the
mean,
fuck is Twitter for? You don't follow Cedricus Dumas?
what's his? I don't even know what his name is.
Oh, come on. I mean, you're fucking bullshitting people. It's SD the Reaper UFC. I mean, you know this, dude. Come on, you're bullshitting people.
Did he block me? Oh, there he is. No, I think he blocked me.
What? No.
I don't see him. SD the Reaper
At
Dumas.
SD the Reaper UFC.
I don't see
Damn
it. I hope he didn't block me.
Shit, man. Now I can't find it either. Did he block me too?
Fuck, did he block both of us? I can't find it.
Oh, no, he would never block me. He doesn't have time to do that. But I just saw he was just in my. Yeah, he couldn't have blocked us. Remember, we saw that he had an empty bank account today. He posted that.
I think I might have saw a screenshot of it though. I don't know if I saw his account.
Well, he posted. Yeah. We weren't in his bank account.
SD _ I don't know what. Why is his name so hard to find?
I don't know.
Oh well. I guess he's not coming on tonight.
I guess not. Damn it.
Oh, nobody's. I think he might have deactivated it. No, nobody can find it.
Seriously?
Oh,
SD Unbroken. It is us. I thought it was. Okay.
okay. There it is.
There it is. And it says SD the Reaper UFC when you bring it up. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, he said this is a price of being a adult and paying legal actions and stuff in your life. I hate to hear people say people don't struggle at a big scene. Yeah, all y'all can laugh about it. I'm just giving y'all something to laugh about. That's pretty good grammar there.
Yeah, at least now he's probably typing instead of using the voice to text.
Yeah, so shout out to SD Dumas. All right, we got to... What? Okay, we got to get into it. We got a lot of fights. 14 fights? Really? They're doing 14 fights?
14 fights, dude. 14 fights. They keep doing this to us.
All right, and a lot of them are like put together last second too, so just makes it more interesting. And this is one of them. This one came up like last week, no?
Yeah, just last week because they had lost so many fights. They put this one together. I mean, and this one will be on the main card, but we could talk about it first.
All right, we'll talk about it. We got Alexander Hernandez going against Diego Ferreira. We got Hernandez, 32 years old, 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. Ferreira, 40 years old, 5'9" with a 74-inch reach. We got Hernandez 8 years younger, same age there, or same height there, and then we got a reach advantage for Ferreira, 2 inches. Hernandez is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Bill Algeo, decision loss to Damon Jackson, decision win against Austin Hubbard, decision win against Kurt Hollabaugh, and then a knockout win against Chase Hooper. As far as Diego Ferreira, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, a knockout loss to Gregor Gillespie, a knockout loss to Mateus Gamrot, knockout win against Michael Johnson, knockout win against Mateus Frambecki, and then a decision loss to Grant Dawson. So yeah, Hernandez came through as a pretty big I want to say he was the second biggest underdog on the card in Chicago, and he was looking really good against Chase Hooper. I wasn't really sure what the game plan for Hooper was. Apparently he wanted to test his striking, he said, and he did test that striking, and he looked awful doing it, and he ended up getting knocked out with like a second left. And you know it was bad when Jason Herzog stopped a fight, and Jason Herzog stopped the fight with about a second left, and Hernandez won as a big underdog. And now he's taking on Diego Ferreira, who's 40 years old, who was supposed to fight King Green in Chicago as well. So yeah, this should actually be a fun fight. I'm looking forward to this one. You said they put it on the main card?
Yeah, I believe they put
will.
it on the main card. It would make sense if they did, but this, like we said, I had to add this fight to the sheet, and I made it 2 weeks in advance. So both of these guys are fighting on less than 2 weeks' notice, and Alexander Hernandez is fighting on less than a 1 month turnaround from the August 19th Chicago card till now. So this is going to be a tricky one. It's one of those ones where these guys haven't been able to train for, a specific game plan against this particular opponent at length. And you got Hernandez making the quick turnaround, and Ferreira was training to fight King Green just a couple of weeks ago on the same Chicago card that Hernandez already fought on. We kind of think of Diego Ferreira as a grappler, but he's not really. I mean, he's a phenomenal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who is a very high-level grappler, but he's just one of these guys that he just doesn't use it offensively at all. I mean, if the fight falls into the grappling area, he's fine there. But it's funny, like when you see this guy losing fights, it's because he's getting out grappled, which is bizarre. But guys like Gillespie just drowned him. Gamrot did the same. Grant Dawson did the same thing. Those guys are some of the most elite control time wrestlers and just chain wrestlers in the division. Now, this is a completely different matchup. It's against a striker, a guy that's going to go out there and really try to hurt you on the feet. And I think that Diego Ferreira's, first of all, he's got really good wins at the UFC level. He's faced the much better level of competition overall. When you look at Diego Ferreira's 16 UFC opponents, Brady, the combined records of his opponents, 156 wins and 81 losses. So it's a really really high level of competition that this guy has amassed a 10-6 record at the UFC. And his striking, it really goes underrated in my opinion. So I could see why Hernandez is starting to catch some heat, man. This guy's on a 3-fight win streak right now. He's not 33 years old yet. He's going to be 7.5 years younger than Diego Ferreira. And, he's just the recency bias is a lot better on the Hernandez side than it is on the Ferreira side. So, but I think there's value on the Ferreira side. First of all, this guy throws a lot more at distance striking range. He actually has similar kind of power numbers to Alexander Hernandez, and he's going to be a higher level grappler in this fight for sure. It's just we can't really expect him. When we say grappler, we mean Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We don't really mean wrestling and control time. So I think it's going to be a banger. I think these guys are going to stand in front of each other, and it's going to be a fun striking match to watch. And I think they're pretty well matched there. If Ferreira was a little bit younger, I'd probably be picking him and betting him. But at 40.5 years old, a guy who's never really been that active as a professional, he fights about once a year. I don't know if I want to back that right now against the guy in Hernandez, who really seems to be coming into his own on a 3-fight win streak right now.
Yeah, I mean, Hernandez looked really good in his last. I mean, it was against Chase Hooper, who, don't get me wrong, Chase Hooper's a great fighter, but he's a grappler who pushes a grappling heavy pace. Who, if he can get on top, his ground and pound is really good. But he didn't do any of that. I don't think Chase Hooper attempted one takedown, maybe like a half-assed one. But yeah, Hernandez, I do worry about the short notice for sure. I do worry about that he just fought about a month ago, and we saw that Ferreira still has a lot left in the tank. Like that Rebecki fight, he took a beating early, came back, and he actually broke Rebecki, who's next level tough, next level durable. So yeah, I think Hernandez might have a lot of success early, but I mean, Hernandez always fades. We didn't get to see that in the Hooper fight, but that's because it ended in round 1. So let's see where these odds are at for this one. We have Hernandez is minus 140, and we got Ferreira is plus 120. And it looks like this is one of the 2 fights where we do not have totals on it, but looks like Hernandez is a slight favorite in this fight. And yeah, the age of Ferreira definitely worries me, but he doesn't look washed to me. But almost 41, geez, as a lightweight is getting up there for sure.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about the stats here, Brady, is that these guys actually have the same amount of pro fights. You wouldn't think that, right? I mean, because I know Hernandez has been around for a minute. But Ferreira's been fighting for about a year and a half longer than him. But both of these guys have 16 fights at the UFC level. Hernandez, he made his debut on short notice against Beneil Dariush, I believe. And that fight took place in 2018. Diego Ferreira made his UFC debut back in 2014. So, but you look at Ferreira, dude, this guy just doesn't fight, man. He fought 3 times in 2021, but then he didn't fight at all in 2022, once in 2023, once in 2024, and once in 2025 back in January. So he's not, even though he's 40 and a half years old, he's still got some miles on that engine that he can use, because it's not like this guy's taken a ton of damage over his career, or that he's been fighting 3 times a year since he was 19 years old. It's just not like that.
Yeah, that's true. Free my brother Cedricus. He didn't do shit.
Man.
Well, he got freed. I remember his bond was like a couple $100,000. They bailed him out.
Yeah, well, Cedricus has got cash, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's got connections.
He does.
Alexander Hernandez. Yeah, we all deserve a 20th chance. I mean, the first 16, 17, we're all human, right?
Human beings make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. It could happen. You could get arrested 14 times, Brady, tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is, you find like the wrong vengeful cop, like narco cop is out there.
Oh yeah.
You jaywalk a little bit outside those lines. They'll throw you in the slammer if you look at them wrong. So yeah, man, narco cop does seem to think that Cedricus is kind of a bad guy. Like I said, I still think that I'm kind of up in the air. I don't know.
Yeah.
And narco knows you only need to come up with 10% of it. That's the thing. So if it's like a $2 million bond, you put down 200,000, and then you get that 200,000 back if you show up for the court date.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I wouldn't know. I've never hit a woman.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, you know.
And SD has done a lot of that, unfortunately.
I guess so.
So
according
they say.
To the courts in Florida. Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
The word that we have to use is allegedly.
So they say. So luckily, I've never had to post bail.
Yeah.
Hernandez minus 142 seems easy. It could look easy, but I do worry about what happens as the fight goes on. Got Jared Van Dare in the building.
Nice.
I'm always watching. Mauricio Hufi needs help. He needs help. We got Tony C with the dono saying, can't wait for Jose Medina fight week. Can't wait for heavy bag Medina to yell, come on, while getting his face rearranged. I can't wait to talk about that fight. It's going to be a fun fight. Appreciate you, Tony, for the $4.99. And appreciate you, Dravi, for the $27.99 Canadian. He says, what's up, boys? Feeling generous after UFC Paris. I know, like, Dravi went crazy on the Paris card, had a lot of action. It looked like he did very well. So shout out to Dravi. Appreciate you, Dravi, for the dono. And I know he's on
like 13 units or something like that.
Wow.
He had it might have even been like 18. I'm not joking. God. Like I looked at his props, dude. He had like 3 units on BSD, and then he even threw like a quarter unit on BSD round 2 at like plus 1,000.
Oh God.
And it was the only prop. It was the only prop that he bet on that fight. And he fucking nails a round 2 prop for BSD. Crazy.
That was a great read. I know you picked Saint Denis round 2. That was a good pick.
Saint Denis round 2 sub was what I picked. I wish I would have bet it, but I bet his money line. So but still, that it would have been pretty cool when you get the round right and bet it. That's pretty nice.
Absolutely. Shout out to Dravi for the dono, man. CDF, I think this is great matchmaking, 100%.
Absolutely agree.
Don't fall for the Hernandez. I'm probably gonna at least pick for. I've just never been a Hernandez guy. I just don't like the cardio. I don't like how he breaks. But I'm also not running to the window to bet a 41-year-old lightweight as well. So might just look for some props or sit back and watch this one. Hernandez is a guy who fades badly. Almost all of his finish equity is in round 1. He has no finishes outside of round 1 in the UFC. All of his finishes come in round 1. Believe it or not,
he's got that power.
He does have power. Hernandez out-gooned the Goon King. Yeah. And Chase Hooper goons a lot. He's gooning all the time.
Yep.
Hoof, yeah, not good.
Yeah.
We got Artem in the chat. What is up, Artem? I believe in SD to the very end. Oh God. I guess Artem's the Goon King. I don't know. I thought that was Hooper.
Well, it looks like Artem's throwing his hat into the ring now.
Cedricus Dumas is the Angel Reese of the UFC. What does that even mean? I'm not really into the WNBA.
Yeah, neither do I. But
I
I
don't
guess
think
Angel Reese plays for Chicago. So maybe I
Oh,
should know who she is, or maybe she doesn't. I don't even know. Who am I kidding?
how much fun did you have watching the Dana White's Contender Series Week 5 tape, Brady? Probably my least favorite week of the year, probably for Contender Series. Weezy, do you know that they have on Contender Series this Tuesday? Last week I told you about O'Malley's buddy. This week they have two people that go to Jilton Almeida's gym, and I'm watching tape on these guys, and they're fighting in malls. They're
They
fighting
all play malls.
in the same mall as Rafael Cerquera. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
Really?
there's the jewelry store right back there, and then they got
Yeah.
like the food court. Dude,
Yeah,
I was watching like a Alice Pereira. She's on this
Oh.
card. All of her footage is on a phone, and it's always in a mall.
In the
And I'm
food
like,
court, like people are trying to eat.
who's signing these people?
Yeah.
Like,
People are trying to eat their Chick-fil-A, they're Chinese, they're Chinese.
you got
I mean,
people with like shopping bags who are watching the fights.
yeah. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, probably one of the worst weeks of it's rough. It is a rough week for Dana White's Contender Series. That is the Mall Fight League. I forget what it's actually called, but yeah, it should be called the Mall Fight League because they're fighting in a
the
mall.
demo fight. It's demo fight. It's the biggest joke of an organization, and
So bad.
if they're at Jilton Almeida's gym, then they're probably fighting nobodies in demo fight. So
I know, and it's tricky because they look good, but it's like, are we going to get the next Jilton Almeida or are we going to get the next Rafael Cerquera? It's like there's no in between. There's no in between. So,
and even Jilton had two fights against guys with pulses before he got into the UFC. They made him beat a couple of UFC veterans. He beat Ildemar Alcantara, I believe, in a short notice fight, and then before that, he fought some like Enrique de Silva or something like that. So he actually did fight two guys with pulses where there were cameras in the building and like announcers for the fight. But most of these fights, you see them and they're in the mall and there's no announcer. There's no sound. There's no nothing. And it's filmed on a phone.
yeah.
And I'm like,
terrible.
who brings this footage to Sean Shelby? And he's like, yeah, I got to have this guy. You see him beat the fuck out of that mall kiosk guy, So I don't know how they get the contracts. Man.
Oh gosh. Pereira trains with them in the same gym. Oh, is Pereira over there now?
Oh wow! So because
Alex?
she was at Life MMA, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
so maybe she's
Alex.
at Galpao de Lucha now.
Okay, that's interesting.
She had a fight in demo fight.
Okay, maybe that's why money's coming in on Montserrat.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like I saw the line and I'm like, oh my god. My first thought was they got this Alice Pereira mixed up with Alex Pereira's sister, who's a fighter, and she's good. Like she was in LFA. She's got some knockouts against fighters with pulses, and I'm like, dude, this isn't her. And I almost just bet it blind because I was like, I know that the market thinks that this is Alex Pereira's sister, who is going to be signed by the UFC shortly.
Wait, it's not?
No, this is not Alex
God.
Pereira's sister. Alex Pereira's sister fought in LFA. This is Alice Pereira. No relation to UFC champion Alex Pereira.
Oh,
and
God.
I swear to God, people that are betting her think that she's Alex's sister.
1,000%. I was like, I didn't look into the fight yet, but I was convinced it was Alex's sister. So no, I mean, Montserrat is horrible, but she went from plus 250 to she's like plus 135 now.
Yeah, and it makes sense because this Alice is, I mean, like when you see the girls that she's beaten, I swear to God, you're going to laugh your ass off. If you haven't taped her yet, she's fought some of the worst. She fought this girl. It was in demo fight. This girl, I shit you not, was 4'10", and it looked like they just brought her off the street. I'm not kidding. 0-0 fighter, knocked out on the first punch.
Oh, God.
It was so bad.
Jeez. Holy casual. I mean, I was watching football. I didn't have time to tape Montserrat Rendon, just being honest. I mean, that was the least of my priorities. I taped most of this card, but I did not want to. I had to watch some football, man. Oh, gosh. I didn't think Alex Perez's sister is good at MMA. Not sure why people are betting Rendon. I mean, this
Have
Alice,
you seen Alice Pereira yet?
I mean, I was going to, like, this Alice must be god awful if people are betting Rendon. I mean, so it's Eileen and Alice. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
I can see why people would be confused. I was definitely
Right.
confused. I had no clue what her name was. How many sisters? How many sisters does he got? Oh gosh, what's up, Dan? Why did they even sign Alice? Maybe they thought she was Alex Perez's sister. Maybe they made a mistake.
No, they definitely didn't because they know this. They know Aileen Pereira.
God.
Yeah, I remember when they signed this girl, and when they signed her, they said this is not Alex's sister, who is a fighter as well. And they actually kind of look kind of similar too. They're both tall and long, and have long, straight black hair. So it was just when I was looking at it, I was like, I'll bet you anything. The only reason that she's this line is because they've got her mixed up with Alex's sister.
1,000%. 1,000%. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Rodrigo Cezanado versus Danilo Donchenko. This was the tough fight that we did not get to watch in Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you know like what happened? Like who pulled out? Was it
Cezanado pulled out.
Cezanado pulled out? Who the fuck brings the footage on something?
He signed her. I don't know. I know he saw the same footage that I did. And it is filmed on a phone, and it's in a Brazilian mall somewhere, and it's shot from like 50 feet away too. Yeah,
it's horrible quality. A lot of those fights are. But yeah, this is one that I didn't actually get to look into this one on Fight Week when they were supposed to fight a couple weeks ago, and it got canceled, so it kind of worked out. But yeah, still haven't looked into it yet. So you know a lot more about these fighters than I do. So I'll kick it to you. What are your thoughts on this Ultimate Fighter fight?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see the line so wide here because I kind of feel like these guys have faced a fairly similar level of competition on the regional scene, but Donchenko's fighting over in that Central Asian regional scene in Niza FC. So it's a different kind of opponent than you're going to find over on the Brazilian regional scene where Cezananjo was fighting. So both of these guys are primarily strikers. Donchenko's got a lot of good kicks. They're both orthodox fighters. But we saw Cezanando on his last the Ultimate Fighter fight really kind of use the wrestling and the grappling to get the win over Compton, I think his name was, or something like that. It started with a C. And his first fight was against the Fighting Nerds guy, with the Italian sounding name, and he got a pretty good win over him too. He's mixing the martial arts pretty well. I think he was pretty much known as a striker before he got into the Tough House. But in the Tough House, he was on the Cormier team, and he probably got a little bit of work on that wrestling. And he seems to be mixing in the grappling a little bit here. I don't know which one of these guys is more well-rounded. Maybe Cezanando. But they're both young fighters. Donchenko was a champion in Niza FC. And like when you watch the Niza FC footage and then you compare it to his footage in the Ultimate Fighter House, you could kind of tell this guy's he's getting better at a pretty quick rate. And it seems like the market's really recognizing it, Brady, because I don't like it when these the Ultimate Fighter guys are big favorites going into that first fight in the UFC, because sometimes it's kind of hard to judge which one of the guys had the tougher strength to schedule on the show, because you don't really do background research on a lot of these guys sometimes, and they can go out there and have really good performances on the show, but it's not necessarily going to translate at the UFC level because they might have gotten a really low level opponent. They might have gotten a really easy path to the final. I think that these guys are fairly well matched, to be honest with you, but it just looks like Cezanando is not a big welterweight, while Danilo Donchenko is 5'11", Cezanando is 5'9". So, and I like Donchenko's takedown defense. It's pretty damn good, dude. It looked good in the house. He got a really nice knockout win over Matt Dixon in his second UFC fight, and in the second tough fight, and in the first one he looked good as well. So. I think I would lean to the Donchenko side, but I think the market's got him at minus 200 or even maybe more expensive.
Yeah, minus 235, and wow. Cezanando is plus 200.
Yeah, that feels a little wide to me. Donchenko is actually the younger fighter here, but he does have more experience. I don't know where Donchenko is training. I got him at parts unknown right now, like he's a 1980s wrestler, but I don't know where this guy's training. So I think there's still some research I got to do on both guys. I was watching Cezinando right before the fight started, or right before the show started, but I gotta finish taping Donchenko. But I remember I really liking his striking and his kicks.
The over set at 1.5. The over 1.5 is minus 180. The under 1.5 is plus 157. All right. Let's see. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be. Was this a one that's put together on short notice too?
Yes, because Quang Lee was supposed to fight David Martinez.
Tiger Muay Thai.
Oh, he is Tiger Muay Thai. Let me thank you, Dogfather. I'm going to put that in there.
But appreciate you, Dogfather.
Appreciate that.
All right. So what were you saying?
That David Martinez was supposed to fight Quang Lee, and then Raul Rosas Jr. was supposed to fight Rob Font. So Rosas Jr. pulled out of the Font fight. So then they moved David Martinez up to fight Font, and then they brought in Santiago Luna to take the short notice fight now against Quang Lee, who was left without an opponent. Yeah.
All right. Which is like most of the fights on this card. There's like somebody stepping in, I feel like. But yeah, this is one of them. We got Quang Lee going against Santiago Luna. We got Quang Lee, 33 years old, 5'6" with a 70-inch reach. Luna, 21 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. We got Luna, 12 years younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Quang Lee is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Chris Gutierrez, lost that fight by decision, but I think his stock definitely rose in that fight. I think he won a round off of Gutierrez. Then he got knocked out by Long Zhao, and then he beat Gaston Bolaños by submission in the second round. As far as Luna, like I said, he will be coming in here, stepping in on short notice. And this is the closest line fight on the card. I believe this line, flipped. This line has flipped. Quang Lee was the favorite. Now he's a slight dog at plus 101.
Yeah, so Santiago Luna was fighting in UWC. Have you ever watched any fights in UWC, Brady?
Doesn't sound familiar, but probably.
It's a Mexican promotion. A lot of the Entrum Yim guys fight in UWC, and they fight also in another Mexican promotion, which is on UFC Fight Pass, and it's called...
Is it Hex?
No, Hex is Australian. Oh, shit. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the worst promotion, Brady. Like...
Oh.
They do a great job with like the announcers and the cameras, and it's a good promotion. They film it well, but god damn, the level of competition there is just so bad. And then he got a fight in a real promotion against Magomed Baiduev, and that guy is an ACA guy who's got some decent wins on his resume. He got a 3rd round submission over that guy. Then he beats Desmond Manabat in, I believe it was Tough Enough. And Manabat's like a 4-6 guy. But he knocked him out cold. It was really impressive. But I still need to go back and watch that Magomed Baiduev fight for Santiago Luna. Because from what I could tell when I was wiki capping the fight, that's the only guy with a pulse that he has a win over. So I'm going to go back and watch that fight to get a better idea of what Luna is, but he's got a 100% finish rate, and he looks to be a pretty explosive guy. The knockout over Manabat was impressive. But, this is a big step up in competition for this guy. First of all, he's only been a professional mixed martial artist for less than 2.5 years, Brady. In addition, this kid is only 21 years old, and then he's going to be making his UFC debut, against Quang Lee, who's already got 3 fights at this level. And I just think it's a lot to ask for this kid on short notice who's got very little experience. He's fought a very low level of competition, and he's never been the distance in his career either. So only 6 fights, only 44 minutes, 21 years old. Those are some really difficult circumstances to make your debut under. But you know what? I'll tell you something, Brady. Youth is an amazing thing. When you're young, you don't realize how stupid you are sometimes, or how stupid it is to make certain decisions. And like, this isn't really a stupid decision. I mean, if the UFC is trying to give you a contract and you're a fighter, even if you think you're going to lose that first fight, you're taking that shot. You're saying yes, like Harry Hardwick said. You know, he may have gotten wheeled out of that octagon the other day, Brady, but he'll be back in a few months and he'll be, fighting at his correct weight class, and they'll give him a much easier fight. So, I don't know what to expect from Luna, but I just kind of feel like if you're just a gambler, there's some meat on the bone on the Quang Lee side here. He's fought the much better brand of competition. He's been in there against a top-notch UFC striker in Chris Gutierrez. The Zhao Long knockout, dude, that was a great fight. And I think Quang Lee was actually winning a lot of those striking exchanges there. His boxing looks good. This guy can mix in the wrestling as well and win minutes there. He's at a good camp, a lot more experience as a professional. And just, that experience, I think it weighs huge when you're looking against, a UFC debutante who's taking the fight on short notice. But keep in mind, Brady, that Quang Lee was supposed to fight David Martinez. Now he's got to train for a completely different opponent and a young one. This kid's young, dumb, full of cum. He's going to go out there and he's just going to give it his all. And, sometimes when you're young, you're stupid enough to believe in yourself more than you should. And you go out there and you get the job done. So this is going to be a fun fight. This guy Luna looks like a really fun prospect, but I got to go a little bit deeper on the tape here because he just hasn't fought a lot of good guys.
Full of what?
Yeah, that's a saying. You're young, dumb, full of cum. It just means like, you're young, you're ready for anything. You don't say no to anything. And, especially a young lady, who wants to spend the night with you. And yeah. So, you can do that. That's that thing that you're full of. You get some of it out of you in a very constructive and useful manner.
Luna was in the Olympics.
I did not know that.
Luna has a wrestling base.
Okay. I got to see more.
Brady Weezy, look up a female Mexican fighter named Lucero Acosta for research purposes. Okay.
Research purposes. I know my guy Paul. If he's telling me to research it, I'm going to research it.
Lucero Acosta.
Lucero
Okay.
Acosta. It is written down.
Oh, yes. I'm going to have to write it down myself. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. I might have to do some research on her after the show. Maybe even during the show. Maybe I'll take a brief intermission and go do some extra research on her. Appreciate that, Paul.
There we go.
Somebody to remember going forward. I was going to say something until Paul distracted me. Oh, dude. So the fight's line close. But, man, want to know what else is close? Who has the better nickname here? I mean, the nicknames on these two are really good. We got Quang Bang Lee, that's a phenomenal nickname, right? But we also have the Border Boy.
The Border Boy.
Two great nicknames. I mean, if the fights were lined based off of nicknames, it might be close to minus 110 as well.
Yeah, so the Border Boy, I mean, he's an Entrum Yim product, so he's right over there in beautiful Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. And you know what Tijuana is, Brady. It is the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. We have, Luna now the slight favorite, minus 121. Quang Bang Lee now plus 101. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 170. The under 2.5 rounds is plus 149. Has Luna ever been under 1.5 rounds?
The average fight time is 7.3 minutes. So yes, he would have had to have been over 7.5 minutes at least once. But if you look on my over-under template, you can actually look at the over 1.5 and see that Santiago Luna has been over 1.5 rounds, 3 of 6 fights.
I meant 2.5. If I said 1.5, my bad.
Oh, 2.5, 1 of 6 times. Only 1 of 6 times.
Yeah.
As a professional.
Okay. Yeah, he had a late finish with like about 20 seconds left, I see.
Yeah, and that was against the dude with a pulse. That was against the Magomed Bakuaev guy. That's the only guy that I could find that looked like he had a legitimate record, like a meaningful win.
Yeah, makes sense. All right. Oh, God. Let's get into it. We got Montserrat Rendon versus Alice Pereira. We got Rendon, 36 years old, 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. Pereira, 19 years old, 5'10", not sure on the reach there. She's going to be 17 years younger than Rendon. She's going to have a 2-inch height advantage. Rendon is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. She made her debut against Tamara's Vidal, won that fight by decision, and then she lost the decision to Daria Zelnikova. As far as Pereira, she's going to be making her debut here, and the money line on this is what I want to kind of bring up. So Pereira opened up, believe it or not, minus 400, and she's currently minus 151. And as far as Rendon, she opened up plus 330. She's currently plus 131. So I haven't taped this fight yet, but God, I mean, Pereira has to be awful if people are betting on Montserrat Rendon, who is probably the worst female fighter I've ever seen step foot into the UFC. I mean, she's so bad. So if she's that bad, I mean, Pereira has to be god awful.
Dude, I'm just telling you something right now, dude. If your wife, Brady, had fought Alice Pereira's schedule, she would be 6-0 as a professional mixed martial artist.
Oh, wow.
Okay? That's all I'm telling you. I mean, like, these girls that she fought are so bad. And it's like, I'm telling you right now, whoever opened this line up minus 400, 100% thought that this was Alex Pereira's sister.
Or Alex Pereira.
Yeah, or maybe they thought Alex Pereira was taking a tune-up fight before he went back in there, and he requested Montserrat Rendon. So,
does she have a good left hook like her brother?
Alice Pereira's not bad though. Like when you watch the tape on her, she looks okay from what you can see on the phone footage that's shot from the upper deck of the mall. And I'm not joking about that, okay? Like her fight against Samara Santos, who's the only fighter that she ever fought that actually has a win on her record. That fight was filmed with a phone from the upper deck from the second floor of a mall. And so like we just don't, and it was a 5-round fight. So that poor person was holding that phone for like 25 minutes, probably had it on a charger sometime in the 4th round to make sure you didn't run out of batteries. So yeah, Alice, I mean, she's kind of tall and long, Brady. She throws straight strikes down the middle. And then when she's really trying to knock you out, then she starts with the hooks that kind of come from a mile out. And she will get takedowns. And when she gets takedowns, she's kind of like a position over submission grappler. She stays on top. When she gets on top, she'll land some ground and pound from those positions. But, I mean, Montserrat Rendon is a legit UFC fighter. She's got excellent conditioning. She's a former triathlete. She pressures forward. She's tall and long for the division. She's got solid enough striking. And she's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt who's like a multiple-time Mexican Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu state champion. So, this is going to be a tough test for Alice Pereira. I guarantee that Montserrat Rendon could beat everybody that Alice Pereira is beaten in the same night. So this is going to be a step up in competition for Alice. It's going to be interesting to see how she handles it, but I'm probably not going to be involved in this fight because I feel like I don't know anything about Alice Pereira. The tape on her is almost unwatchable. But you have to watch it because it's fucking funny, Brady.
I bet. You
have to watch the demo fight one. I'm telling you, I would love it if we could just put that on the screen and it would be one of the most memorable stat diggers. We would laugh so hard if we just watched that fight. And I tell you, it would take about 30 seconds. We should do a live private video where we show the Cristiane Silva fight. Maybe it was the Carla Lacerda. I forget which one it was. But 2 of this woman's fights have been flagged for uncompetitive opponents.
Jeez.
And she only has 6 wins. 2 of them have been flagged. And the one that wasn't flagged was the funnier one. It was the worst opponent of the 3.
I mean, I think they're being a little tough. I mean, Hosanna Eni is pretty a tough opponent. She's pretty tough.
Hosanna, yeah, I that was she was finished by ground and pound in 11 seconds into the first round. So I think she might have just had a bad, it might have just been a tough night at the office for Hosanna Eni. And then Christiane Silva, I think that they had her picture, but it was taken down because it was too scary. And then that other girl that you just showed, she's 1-8, but she actually lasted for 4.5 minutes.
She looks tough. I mean, why are they flagging this chick?
I don't know. She had 8 fights and she won one of them.
Really looks like she's training.
She kicked the ass of that girl that Alice beat in demo fight, that Christiane Silva, who's 0-1 as a professional. Hosanna Eni, 0-1 as a professional. Carla Lacerda, that was the Pratinha, Carla Pratinha, they called her. And that was in qualified combat, once again, filmed on a phone, once again, in a mall. So, yeah, these are very low-level opponents. She's getting a big step up in competition here.
Yeah. Yeah, wild eye movement. Wonder where this line's going to go. Pereira -1,400 to -150. Like, that's a big move. That's a really big move. Massive move. Rendon +330 to +131. The over-under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is -250. The under 2.5 is +207. Let's clean up the analogies. I mean, your name's Barry McCockiner.
Yeah.
Right? How is he about to tell you to clean it up? How about he cleans up his name?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I am a master of the language here. My analogies are top notch. Why don't you fucking work on your analogies, Barry McCockiner?
Yeah, Barry.
Don't tell Shakespeare how to write a play, you prick.
100%. Apparently, we're missing like the greatest football game of all time. The Bills came back from down like, I don't know, 16.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm recording that. I'm going to watch that.
Oh, my bad for.
That's all right.
Maybe they don't come back.
Yeah.
It's not over yet. You never know. But no spoilers. No spoilers. Anybody? My bad. Tatiana inside the distance at right price. We'll talk about that fight shortly. What is up, Haymaker? Bills about remember no spoilers. Recording the game. I haven't recorded a game in a long time.
I'll record them and watch them. Like sometimes when I'm done with my research, I'll just
that's smart.
You could fast forward past the commercials. You kind of cruise through it pretty quick,
I can't do that because I like to skip ahead and I just ruin it all and just look at the results. It's tough. Apparently it's best game of the year thus far.
Well, it doesn't mean much. I mean, I don't know if you watched today, but like this was some of the worst football I've ever seen. I mean, these receivers can't catch. Everybody that scored today, I have never fucking heard of. It was every touchdown was some bum that like wouldn't have been drafted in a 50-round league. I don't know what happened this week.
Like a lot of third string tight end scoring this week. It was wild.
Yeah. You're going to see me get on the board with 6 points in the Bears game next week.
Not? Get Weezy in there. Heck yeah.
Uncle Weezy getting stretchered off the field after his only catch.
Yes. Speaking of getting stretchered, we got Alden Correa. I'm guessing he came in here on short notice too?
Yeah, because Alessandro Costa was supposed to fight somebody else as well. Who was it? Let's see.
Who was it?
He was supposed to fight.
Who was it?
Edgar Chairez, which would have been a banger.
Oh, that would have been a banger.
So Alden Correa stepping in on short notice to step in for Edgar Chairez.
Yeah, this will also be a banger though. This Correa guy's pretty fun. Yeah, we got Correa stepping in here on short notice. He's 27 years old, 5'8" with a 67-inch reach. Costa, 29 years old, 5'4" with a 67-inch reach. We got Correa, who is 2 years younger, 4-inch height advantage, got the same reach there. Costa is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Amir Albazi, lost that fight by knockout, beat Jimmy Flick by knockout, lost to Steve Ursig by decision, and then beat Kevin Borjas by knockout. So has 2 wins against some lower level guys, but also has 2 losses against some higher level guys. And I kind of think Correa kind of falls into the Borjas Flick category. Not saying he's a bad fighter. He's not. It's just a really rough matchup for him, especially on short notice. Costa's good. This guy's a legit black belt on the mat, and he's just dangerous wherever the fight goes. Has very, very hard leg kicks, and then just a ton of power. A ton of power for the flyweight division. I think Korea is probably going to run into a little bit of a dick saw here, and the line certainly does indicate that, as we have Costa as actually the biggest favorite on the entire card by the looks of it. Yeah, biggest favorite, minus 450 right now. So yeah, I like Costa here. I think he could potentially finish Korea. I think Costa is actually going to have a pretty significant advantage if he can get it down to the mat as well. But I could also see him maybe attacking the legs and maybe even finding the knockout on the feet. Korea's been dropped before. So yeah, I like Costa here, probably inside the distance. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, the problem with Costa, Brady, is that he's been on a very long layoff, man. This guy hasn't fought in about 15 months, and he had to pull out of a Matt Schnell fight.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So I don't know if he lost an arm. I don't know what happened, but like on September 7th, 2024. So yeah, wow, exactly 1 year ago today, he was scheduled to fight Matt Schnell and had to pull out of that fight. And then now he doesn't have another fight scheduled until 1 year after pulling out of that fight. So I don't know if it was a knee. I don't know if it was something really serious, but it probably was a bad injury. So we've got a long layoff here for Costa, scheduled to fight Chairez. Now he gets a new opponent in Korea. And Korea's legit. I mean, he's got 13 professional fights. And since day one, this guy's either been fighting in LFA or Fury. So he's in two legitimate organizations getting rounds in against guys with pulses. Losses to guys like Alberto Trujillo and Fury FC, Michael Cyr, Joseph Camacho. He beat Paris Moran, knocked him out in the first round. And I don't know why that fight was overturned to a no contest. I'm guessing maybe he pissed Hawk for something.
Yeah, I think he might have. I don't know. I couldn't find anything on it. Like, there is nothing on it on why it's a no contest. So weird.
If Dogfather's in here, he would probably know, because I know that he watches Fury FC religiously, and I know that Paris Moran, that's a big win. I think he's their champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember that was a big fight. I think they said that Maynard was watching to see both of them.
Yeah, because Paris Moran has been their kind of like their best flyweight there for a while. Like even though Josh Van got in from Fury FC, but he wasn't. I don't know if he got a fight against Paris Moran. So he's got wins over Ocon, Lafarge, Martinelli. He beat a 4-7 guy last time, but that was because that guy stepped in on short notice. He was supposed to fight Nick Piccinini. So I think that Alden Correa, while the record doesn't look that great, and I don't think there's one real win on his record that really sticks out other than the Paris Moran fight. I just don't know why that fight was overturned. So
apparently marijuana.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Okay, so that's a clean win then.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's a clean win. It's not like he was using anabolic steroids or something like that. So, yeah, if Alden Correa's got wins over Chris Ocon and Paris Moran, and if Costa has got some ring rust, maybe a little bit of a hangover from the 15 months away and from whatever injury rehab he had to do from pulling out of the Schnell fight, this one might play out a little bit closer. But I'm not sure if Alden Correa is going to be particularly dangerous in any one area. The only fight I watched was the Paris Moran fight.
Yeah, my bad. Costa opened up minus 325. He's currently minus 450. Correa opened up plus 275, currently plus 350. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 plus 100. The under 2.5 is minus 120. So they're definitely on to the violence for a flyweight fight there. But yeah, Devil's Lettuce, not cool. Not cool. Read my comment. I didn't see your comment. Costa KO. Costa is 5'4". He's a small flyweight, but he's really compact and packs a lot of power. Costa had a knee injury, then surgery. There you go. I guess weed. Unbelievable. Actually, he is 5'5". He's probably more so 5'4". He's pretty short. Plus 6 units on Sunday Night Football. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
There you go. Let's see. Costa has some girth. Yeah. I guess you could say that. Costa looks like Amanda Lemos. No, Amanda Lemos looks like Costa.
Yeah, I would say they got the same exact haircut.
They do. Who
Yeah.
pulls it off better though? I say Lemos.
Yeah, no, Lemos has got a better head of hair. There's no question about that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think Correa is good. I just think it's a very, 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 very tough matchup. I think Costa's extremely good. Very high level guy.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of high level, we got this fight, which is the opposite of that. We got Zachary Reese going against SD Dumas. We got Reese, 31 years old, 6'5" with a 77-inch reach. Dumas, 30 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Dumas 1 year younger. Reese with a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Reese is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Cody Brundage. Knockout win against Julian Marquez. Decision win against Jose Medina. Knockout loss to Bakayev. And then a decision win against Dusko Todorovic. As far as Dumas, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Cody Brundage. A decision win against Abu Azaitar. A knockout loss against Nursultan Rizaboev. A decision win against Dennis Tuoluen. And then a knockout loss to Mikhail Olazechuk. So I've said it once. I've said it more than once. I've said it every time he's fought. I'm not impressed with Cedricus Dumas at all. You know, I was watching his fights outside the UFC and on the Contender Series, and he looked good. I liked what I saw. I saw a big, long, rangy guy with power, with a sneaky submission game. But in the UFC, he's just looked awful. I mean, he's looked awful in every single fight, and he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights. He's had 7 fights between Contender Series, UFC, 6 UFC fights. He's won half of those fights, but even in these wins, it's like he looked awful in the Brundage fight. It was just Brundage looked even more awful. Brundage pulled a William Knight and landed 3 strikes. I thought he could have potentially lost the Abu Azaitar fight. That was a very close fight, and going to a close fight with Abu Azaitar is a bad look. And then Dennis Tuoluen. I mean, Dennis Tuoluen took him down several times, and then he gets knocked out by Mikhail Nursultan and finished by Josh Frem. So I don't think SD Dumas is that great. But I also don't think Zach Reese is that great as well. And Zach Reese is sitting as a minus 225 favorite, which I will be picking Zachary Reese here. But, I mean, holy crap, that Dusko Todorovic fight was probably one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, that was so bad. They were both death gassed the last 10 minutes of the fight. It was awful. It was terrible. But I got to go Zachary Reese here. I just think Dumas cannot deal with any adversity whatsoever. Anytime there's any adversity, he literally quits. I don't think he has any submission defense. I could see Zachary Reese submitting him. I think if Zachary Reese lands, big shots to the head or to the body, Dumas is going to fold. I don't think Dumas is a UFC level caliber fighter. So I'm going Zach Reese here. Am I laying minus 225 on him? Absolutely not. But I'll just never pick Dumas. I just don't know what it is. I just haven't seen it yet. He'll have to prove it to me. Give me Zach Reese to get it done, but I'm not laying minus 2 anything on him. What are your thoughts on this fight? This is an absolute mess here.
Yeah, it is. I I think Zach Reese is better than this guy. I think that Zach, being the much bigger guy, I think he's probably got a little bit more power on the feet. And Cedricus is actually pretty good when he gets takedowns. He stays in top position. He's actually got a pretty good, just kind of suffocating top game. He'll do a little bit of damage, do enough work to stay on top, and he can win rounds like that. And Zachary Reese has got terrible takedown defense. So I could see Dumas potentially getting a couple of takedowns and getting some top time here. But if he does do that, Zachary's very dangerous off of his back with his BJJ. So I could see him potentially finding a submission against Cedricus here, and finding that knockout against Marquez was really impressive. I mean, Marquez isn't the best middleweight, but that's a guy that's very durable. And, Reese just got him out of there in 10 seconds. It was like nothing. So I think he's a dangerous dude. And he also has shown that he can go 15 minutes at this level. Dumas has shown that as well. But I think that Zach can do it at a higher pace. These fights where Dumas is going the distance are against guys like Brundage. He just laid on top of him for 15 minutes. Azaitar. Well, I mean, Abu Azaitar is a dynamic fucking fighter, Brady. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, yeah. That's why he can really only fight once every 2 years, because the energy output in that one fight over 2 years is more than most ordinary people will do in a 5-year period. But let's just hope we see Abu Azaitar back in that UFC octagon sooner rather than later.
Well, I think they cut him, so I don't think we'll see. I think they cut him.
That's a huge mistake. They're signing Alice Pereira, they're signing Zach Scroggin, they're signing Harry Hardwick, but there's no room on the roster for Morocco's very own Abu Azaitar. I mean, I don't know, man. That's one of the things that I think is wrong with this world that we live in today. But I don't know, man. Dumas, I don't know what the upside is here at this point. When you're dealing with jail, an empty bank account, lawyers, babies' mamas, all these trifling ass hoes.
Those baby mamas, they're tough to deal with, man.
Oh, I mean, you put all that on top of each other. It's the fact that this guy has gotten 3 UFC wins. We should put him on Mount Rushmore, right next to Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy has accomplished a lot with as many trifling ass babies' mamas trying to get his attention. He's spending time in their dog crates. All this shit's going on, and he's still finding some wins. And he's only 30 years old, Brady.
Yeah.
He's still a good athlete. He's still got a good frame for the division, good kicks, sneaky submission game. Who knows, man? Maybe he can get back to the drum board here and find a win, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, for Dumas to win this fight, I think he's going to have to maybe land a shot on the feet. I do think Reese is pretty chinny. Or, like you said, get takedowns. But I think if he gets takedowns, he's probably getting subbed, guard subbed from Reese. So, yeah, I don't like Dumas's chances, but I also don't really like Reese at minus 225. So we'll see. Reese opened at minus 300, currently minus 225. Dumas opened up plus 250, currently plus 190. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 plus 140. The under 1.5 is minus 160. It should be a hilarious fight, I'd say. Cedricus has got this one. He took full cow and went back to the drum board. Yeah, apparently he has. He's been putting in work, man. Sent him back to the drum board. Dumas has been getting good rounds in jail with his girlfriend.
All right.
He's ready for this. Okay. Reese KO'd by a head kick. Yeah, that's kind of how I expect a Dumas win looking. They don't check the ankle monitor. He brings it in, and that ankle monitor, those are tough, man. Those are hard. You ever feel an ankle monitor? If you get hit with one of those,
they're built to take a beating.
They are. SD knows which round he is supposed to fall over in. We just have to guess. Yeah, I think it probably falls over in round 1. If you bet on this fight, you need to get some help. Yeah, potentially. Dumas is about to hit his stride. Yeah, he could, man. He could. Dumas can't deal with adversity. His entire life is adversity. It ain't easy fighting out of a dog crate. Yeah, I mean, this dude did his full training camp in a dog crate. We talked about Chaos Williams doing his training camp in a Planet Fitness. How about a dog crate? It's tough. There's not a ton of room to maneuver in a dog crate, especially if you're 6'4".
Yeah, God.
New interview with Dumas will be out Monday on Pub, straight out the locker. Mills, I thought you were gonna get Dumas on Stat Diggers tonight. Bring him on, have him talk about the fight. What happened to that?
He's got to put food in his own mouth first. He's got to get that interview for himself first. He's the one that Dumas knows.
Dumas said he is going out with a bang. I have no idea what he meant. So Dumas apparently says he's going out with a bang. So inside information there from Mills. Going out with a bang. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Dumas is a good and wholesome citizen. Yes. Yeah, he's a great citizen. Absolutely. Dumas's back is against the wall. It's put up or shut up. Pressure makes diamonds, and you can't spell diamonds without SD. He's got a point. Those contender fight highlights were pretty good for SD. SD had a great submission win on the contender series.
Yeah.
The trifling hose
his knockouts on the regional scene were badass too.
Yeah. I don't know what got into him. Damn baby mamas taking hits. Kaboom. Oh, God. Those baby mamas, they can be crazy. They can absolutely be crazy. Dumas is my favorite superhero. Well, at least he gets Dumas probation officer to come on the show. SD is young, firm, and full of
sherm. Young, firm, full of sherm. He's out there on the street smoking PCP.
Yeah. I wonder. I gotta watch this interview tomorrow. I gotta see if he's smoking. How many blunts he's smoking? We could do like an over under. I say over under. We'll do over under 2.5 blunts. We're not even going joints. We're going blunts. Over under 2.5 blunts during this interview. I'll take the over. I think it's 3.
That'd be a lot of blunts on fight week, but we'll see.
Hopefully, he's not holding his infant kid while smoking as well this time.
I need to provide for this motherfucker right here.
Like what?
SB.
I mean, as somebody send that interview to child service, I mean, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. All right. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. And we have Luis Garuli going against Jesus Aguilar. We got Garuli, 31 years old, 5'5" with a 64-inch reach. Aguilar, 29 years old, 5'4" with a 62-inch reach. We got Aguilar 2 years younger. Garuli with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Aguilar is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut, I believe it was his debut against Satoru Sayara. Lost that fight by sub. Knocked out Shannon Ross. He beat Mateus from Mendoza by decision. Submitted Stuart Nickel and lost a decision to Rafael Estevam. As far as Garuli, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Odie Osborne and lost that fight by knockout. So, yes, seems like a pretty easy matchup for Garuli. I actually think Garuli is a pretty good fighter. I think he's pretty well-rounded. Can wrestle a little bit, really good striker. I think he's going to have a striking advantage here. All he really has to do is just not get guillotined. Like, that's pretty much the entire game of this Aguilar. I mean, it had great guillotine. He did knock out Shannon Ross, but, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And I do question the chin of Garuli, but, I mean, I highly doubt Aguilar is going to knock him out. Yeah, I mean, the game plan is probably pretty simple here. I mean, use your defensive wrestling, keep the fight standing, and pick apart Aguilar over the course of 15 minutes. Don't go to the ground with this guy, and should be a pretty easy night at the office. But, yeah, if Aguilar gets your neck, this guy, and that's what he's good at, has that guillotine. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, he's a guillotine merchant, all right, and he throws a pretty heavy overhand right too. So if you don't want to get caught by that, not by somebody with those super short arms. You get hit by those guys with those short arms, they can knock you out. There's
you've got to have the shortest reach in men's division's history, right?
Yeah, 62-inch reach. I mean, like that's only 3 inches better than like Corey McKenna.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. But that's also one of the reasons that the guillotine works for him so well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that his arms are short, so once he locks that thing on, there's just no room. You're not going anywhere. And if he can get the grip right and get it underneath the chin and squeeze, he can finish. And he did it to Stuart Nickel. We've seen him do it to Edgar Chairez actually on the regional scene in a 5-round fight in UWC, as a matter of fact. Probably the highest level fight that ever took place in the history of UWC was Edgar Chairez versus Jesus Aguilar. But I think Garuli is better than this guy everywhere. Okay, he's a better offensive and defensive wrestler. He's a better striker. I mean, I think both of these guys have really good cardio. But the thing that bothers me about Aguilar is the fact that he does go to that guillotine so much. You look at the control time numbers, Brady. Jesus Aguilar, over 5 UFC fights, has only spent 17% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range. How about that? This guy, and he's losing 80% or 78% of the control time positions in his fights. So he can easily be taken down, easily be held down, because he's going to use that guillotine for defense. So if you can stay out of that thing, if you can make sure that this dude never secures guard when he's trying to latch onto your neck, you can take him down at will, and you can outstrike him at will. I mean, Jesus will probably be throwing more strikes because Garuli is a little bit low distance at range, but I should say a little bit low volume at range, but I think his volume will pick up in this fight because he's not fighting Odie Osborne, who's a lot trickier of an opponent to deal with at this level, being way taller than Aguilar, a way more athletic guy, way faster, way more powerful. So this is a pretty big step down in competition for Garuli, and I think that he can dominate the distance striking exchanges of this fight, put the pressure on Aguilar. But Aguilar's going to pressure him back. Aguilar's going to meet him in the middle. He's not afraid of a scrap. I just think Gurule is more technical than this guy everywhere. And I think that he's going to be the one that dictates where this fight takes place. And whoever controls the location of the fight is usually going to be the one more likely to win minutes. So I like Gurule here.
Yep, I do too. He's currently sitting at he actually been at minus 350. He's currently sitting at minus 200. Aguilar opened up plus 285, currently plus 170. Yeah, I think he has just all the tools to win this fighting. And quite frankly, make it look easy. Just watch your neck, man. Just watch your neck against this guy, Aguilar. That guillotine's nasty.
Dude, he finishes it all the time, man. I mean, the guy has got a really nasty guillotine, but he's got bad submission defense too. I mean, Gurule could take this guy down and find a submission on the ground as well. He's a much better wrestler than Aguilar is.
Yeah, he's a really good wrestler, Gurule.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Dumbass, yeah. No, he's not smoking black and mild. I think he's definitely smoking weed.
Well, but if you're doing the blunts, you take the black and mild, you split it open, you dump the tobacco out, and the black and mild can make a pretty nice blunt. Swisher Sweets, there's black owls or white owls, I should say. There's a lot of different things, not a lot of ways you could go, and Dumas knows all of them.
Yeah. A grown man with a 62-inch reach is crazy.
Yeah.
Aguilar Rex. Don't fuck with Jesus. Yeah, don't fuck with him, man. Don't fuck with him. Wasn't Aguilar coming on strong against Estevan? Well, Estevan slows down in every single fight.
Yeah.
And he needs to be cut. Didn't he miss weight like 5 times? 4?
Oh yeah, Estevan misses weight pretty much every
all
fight.
The time.
Yeah, the guy's a bantamweight trying to be a weight bully at flyweight.
Who the F rolls weed and black? That's what they used to do whenever I was in high school. That's what they would all do. Just black and milds, roll the weed in there.
I always thought blunts were disgusting, man. So I mean, not my thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it used to be black and mild. Now I guess it's backwoods. I mean,
okay.
That's what the kids are doing nowadays, but yeah. But I don't partake in that anymore. All right. We'll move on to the next fight. I'm actually looking forward to this fight quite a bit. We got Claudio Poyas going against Joaquin Silva. We got Poyas, 29 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Silva, 36 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. We got Poyas, who's 7 years younger, 2-inch height advantage, and a 3-inch reach advantage. Poyas is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Jordan Levitt, a submission win against Chris Grutzmacher, a submission win against Clay Guida, a knockout loss to Dan Hooker, and then a decision loss to Faraz Ayam. As far as Joaquin Silva, he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Ricky Glenn, knockout win against Jesse Ronson, knockout loss to Arman Sarukian, decision win against Clay Guida, and then a decision loss against Drakkar Klose. So, yeah, I mean, the problem I have with Poyas, it's just like he has no plan B. It's like if he can't get his wrestling and grappling going, he looks awful. He starts pulling guard. He looks, he has no striking. He doesn't react well to shot. I mean, that Dan Hooker performance was very bad. And even the Faraz Ayam fight, like when he wasn't on top getting control, he just has nothing on the feet. And he's going against Neto BJJ, who has not cashed any sub props for me. Have they taken away his nickname yet for not submitting Clay Guida? Have they taken it off yet?
Yeah, man. It's like Jose Quinonez's jiu-jitsu tattoo. The guy's never submitted anybody. And yeah, I think it's a joke. I think it's a trick. But yeah, some of these guys, they fall in love with their damn hands, man. That's what Silva did. He got a knockout like 10 years ago. He's like, oh, I like this. And you just stop. He doesn't want to use his jiu-jitsu at all, man.
I think it was like the most money I've ever had on a sub prop. Like, how do you not submit Clay? Clay Guida has been submitted 16 times. It's like you got
so many times, dude.
It's like, what are you doing? So hopefully they remove the nickname Neto B. I don't want to see it in his name ever again. But is Claudio Poyas going to submit Neto BJJ, who's never been submitted? And if not, if he's not able to take down and control, Joaquin Silva, when this fight is on the feet, Silva hits very hard, and he is a pretty good striker. So kind of a, I guess, striker versus grappler matchup. Like Silva's going to have a big advantage on the feet, and Poyas, if he can get his grappling going and his control going, he can, take you down and win some minutes. But I don't know. I've never really wanted to go out there and, put a lot of money on Poyas, because if it goes bad, it's going to go bad quickly and it's going to look very bad. So it's a tough fight to call. And I think the line does indicate that. Last time I checked, it was around a pick 'em. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes you just got to wonder if Puelas is going to go full Kron Gracie at some point, and just butt scoot and like just that pure Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like that specialist. That's really what he is. He's a leg lock specialist, and the striking just isn't there. I mean, he lands 2.2 distance strikes per minute. 2.2, Brady. I mean, he's spent 34 minutes at distance striking range, and he's getting, it's got a negative 2.4 distance striking differential, less than 40% accuracy, less than 54% defense. The guy poses no threat at all at distance striking range, but he spends 62% of his UFC octagon time in control time positions, and he's winning like 70% of those control time positions. He's got great sweeps. He's got pretty good top control. He can get takedowns. His wrestling's not bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be a fun fight, I think, because Puelis is just going to be selling out, man. He's going to be killing himself to get this fight to the ground. And it's going to be interesting because Neto BJJ is a guy that you have to force him to grapple. But if you force him to grapple, this was always his MMA base as well. So he'll be comfortable down there. If Puelis wants to go out down there and fucking play leg locks with Silva, I don't think he's going to get Silva out of there with a leg lock. I mean, this guy's been in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments for the last 20 years of his life, So I don't know if Puelis is going to be able to find a finish on the ground against somebody like Silva. But could he top time him on the way to winning a decision? Yeah, I think so. Could Silva find a knockout? Yeah, definitely. I think he could. But this is going to be a tricky one, Brady. You got two guys, 15-month layoff for Silva, 18-month layoff for Puelis. Dude, what are these guys doing? I mean, Silva's old. He's like 36. He's been fighting for a long time as a professional, but this guy Puelis isn't even 30 yet, and he's fought like twice in the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't know. And then he's like doing work as a commentator for the UFC as well. I don't know if he wants to be here, dude.
I mean, in some of the fights, it looks like he doesn't.
Because he's a specialist. So if a specialist is unable to get their game going, like you'd see like Ronnie Yaya, if he's unable to get takedowns and get fights to the grappling, I mean, he would just look terrible. Who do we just see that just couldn't get their grappling game going at all and just got rinsed? Well, like Bryce Mitchell against Gene Silva, that was what you see, when these guys are really dependent on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Kron Gracie, one of them as well. When you can't get that takedown, man, Paul Craig.
There was somebody on the Contender Series as well. Couldn't get his grappling going.
Yeah.
The Indian dude, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, yeah, he got...
Oh, God.
That was rough. But, so it's going to be interesting because I think Puelis will be able to get takedowns. I think this fight probably is going to take place in grappling positions for at least 2/3 of however long this fight takes place. But and I think it's kind of a toss-up because it's hard to know where either of these guys are right now. But at least with the Puelis, you're getting the younger guy, you're getting the taller guy, you're getting the longer guy. But I think he's going to get picked apart on the feet.
Yeah, I kind of feel like for Poyas to win this, he's got to fight a perfect fight. Like, it's got to go perfect for him. Like, he's got to get on top. He's got to control Silva, and he's going to do it for 15 minutes. There's no plan B. If Silva ends up stuffing some takedowns or getting back up, like, he's screwed. It's going to look bad, too.
Yeah, and even Silva's got 69% takedown defense. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, and Silva had some success against Sarukian, too. Rocked Sarukian in that second round. So, yeah, kind of leading Silva, but I do see the path for Poyas. It would be takedowns, control time over the course of 15 minutes, and it could be a frustrating fight for Silva, but we'll see. The Calm Neto BJJ, it's time to use it. It's time to use it here in this fight if the fight hits the mat. Let's see. Where is this total at? The over/under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is -115. The under 2.5 is -105. I can definitely see Silva knocking out Poyas. Not sure if I see Poyas submitting Silva though. Maybe, but probably not.
What did you say the under was?
-105.
So it's -115 for the over.
Yeah. A lot of
Putting
Silva
that in
fights
my
finish.
model.
A lot of Silva fights do finish.
My model likes the over just a little bit more than the under. It's actually a small trifecta bet on my model, but I don't know, man. This is a tricky one with two guys on super long layoffs here.
Yep, definitely a tricky fight. But I'll never forget the Dan Hooker. That was the is Dan Hooker a bum? One of the greatest moments on YouTube.
Yeah, man. I think we laid like -150 on Hooker, and we were both so pissed we didn't go max bet on that fight. Like we both had like 3 units on him, but we were both like, that should have been 5 units all day. I mean, that was one of the easiest cashes ever.
I know, like people are betting Poyas, and the people saying Dan Hooker's washed, and yeah, that was amazing. It's amazing. Sleeping on the black and milds. Pure BJJ in 2025. It's not too often you see these pure BJJ guys these days. I mean, people are too well-rounded these days. Guess how many strikes Poyas landed in 15 minutes against Zion, and guess how many sub attempts he had. I'm going to say he landed 15 significant strikes, and sub attempts, I'll say 3. I'll say 3.
I'll say 10 significant strikes and 2 sub attempts. I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, God.
What is it?
0 sub attempts.
Wow. My God. Wow.
And 4. He pulled a William Knight. 4 significant. You know what? You want to hear a disgusting stat? This guy's a favorite right now. Let me ask you this. In Poyas' last 3 fights, and his last 2 fights have lasted 15 minutes and 9 minutes. In his last 3 fights, Wheezy, how many significant strikes has Claudia Poyas landed?
4 in the ZM fight, but I'm not looking at the other 2. So before that, it was
Dan Hooker.
Dan Hooker. He barely landed anything. And then Guida, he might not have even landed 1 because he took him down and submitted him so fast. I'll go with less than 10 significant strikes total.
10 on the dot in this last 3 fights.
Crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you how dominant he can be with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu if he gets the fight to the ground. He doesn't need to land strikes in order to win fights.
But he lost 2 of those. And he did sub Clay Guida, so we got it. And Silva couldn't, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
He's a slight favorite there. Let's see. Forgot about Poyas after Hooker demolished him. I like Silva. F Poyas. He sucks. Poyas downside is looking plus 1,000 Kron Gracie style. Yeah, I mean, he's either going to look really good or he's either going to look really bad. There's really no in between with this guy. 8, 7, yeah, close, 10 significant strikes. My model says someone's getting milked like a dairy cow. Well, guess what? Brenton Ibero got milked like a dairy cow last night. Absolutely.
For sure.
Neto BJJ is a tank. Close couldn't take him down outside of a fluke knee bar. I can't see Poyas winning. Well, Poyas is the favorite, so very interesting. We'll move on to the next fight. It is going to be the people's main event. What is the people? Is this the people's main event, or is it the Reese Dumas fight?
Dude, there's 2 people's main events here. The people are getting a great card in terms of entertainment value, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. We got Jose Medina, Dusko Todorovic. We got Medina, 34 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Dusko Todorovic, 31 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. Dusko, 3 years younger. Dusko with a 1-inch height advantage, same reach there. Medina is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Had that loss on the Contender Series, got 30-27 on all 3 judges' scorecards, and got a contract. By far, the worst signing in Dana White's Contender Series history by a mile. Made his debut against Zach Reese. No.
Okay.
Didn't Johnny Parsons win a fight?
He did. His only UFC fight.
Medina will never even come close to that. So he lost to Zach Reese by decision, and then he got knocked out by Ateba Godier. As far as Dusko Todorovic, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out by Chidi Njokwani. Knocked out Jordan Wright. Got knocked out by Christian Leroy Duncan. Got knocked out by Mansour Abdul-Malik, and then lost a decision to Zachary Reese. So, yeah, this is going to come as a hot take to many people, Weezy, maybe even to you. But I'm looking at the money line. I see minus 300 Dusko Todorovic, and my hot take is I don't think it's wide enough. I think Medina's that bad. I actually think Dusko is a skilled fighter who just doesn't have a chin. He has no chin. He can't take a punch. He's been knocked out by Mansour Abdul-Malik, got knocked out by Chidi, got injured in the Christian Leroy Duncan fight, got knocked out by Punahele Soriano. This guy can't take a punch. He's very hittable, chin up in the air. He can get knocked out, but Medina has no power. He has no power in his punches. And Medina also has no ground game, has no takedown defense. I think if Dusko can get on top here, use that black belt, use that ground and pound, because that's the one thing I like about Dusko's game is that ground and pound. If he gets on top, we saw in the Wright fight, who Wright's horrible, right? But he's better than Medina. Imagine what Wright would do to Medina. Daquan Townsend would beat Medina. Daquan Townsend, Weezy, would come in and beat Medina. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Dusko's going to look minus 500 here and potentially even finish Medina on the mat. So that's my hot take of the week. I think Dusko finishes the Bolivian punching bag here on the mat, TKO, ground and pound, or he can just outstrike him across 15 minutes. Like I just struggle to see in what world Medina wins any fight whatsoever. Like what's his path to win any fight ever? I just don't know.
The Homer Simpson path. That's what it would be.
Yeah,
at
but
this level, he's so durable that somebody might get tired enough beating his ass that he might just be able to get on top then and finish the fight when they gas out. Like
that's true.
Like Toshiomi Kazama versus Haralambos Gregorio. You remember that? You remember when he was pounding him out and then he just stopped and he put his head on his chest and then he just stopped. He didn't move.
But then Medina would have to do like a finishing move. Like, what's his finishing move? Like, is he gonna?
He's finished 10 of his 11 wins.
I know.
And then that's what happens. Like he's fighting some really low level guys though, and he's actually getting some takedowns, finding some ground and pound and shit. But like, I know what you're saying because, dude, it's like you said that it was a hot take, and I thought what you were going to say was like. Dusko Todorovic at minus 300. You can't do that. But I was thinking the exact same. I go minus 300, probably should be minus 600.
Yeah, or
wider. This guy is that bad. He's that bad, dude. This guy, I mean, there's a part of me, Brady, that hopes more guys like Medina get signed because I enjoy breaking down this guy's fights. When you get to call a grown man a heavy bag, when you get to call him the Bolivian heavy bag, the Bolivian Homer Simpson, just, I mean, remember when I said that his job in Bolivia was actually a heavy bag? Yeah. He goes to a gym, they put a harness on him and they hang him up. and then some of the boxers just get some work and he just kind of hangs there because it doesn't hurt when you hit him. I mean, like the guy has elite durability, so maybe one day somebody's going to get tired enough at the UFC level to lose to Jose Medina. But Todorovic's conditioning has never been his problem. So I think he wins here, man.
What a hilarious fight. He is a punching bag. My goodness. And he is super durable, super durable. Jeez. I
mean, if you think about it, right? Like you have a heavy bag, right, Brady? You have one?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have one of those bobs.
Wouldn't it be cooler if you were hitting an actual human, though?
It would be, yeah. 100%.
Like, if you were a rich guy, you'd probably pay for that. You'd be like, bring in fucking Jose Medina. I'll change his life. This guy's a veterinarian in the fucking mountains of Bolivia. You get some fucking billionaire to be like, yeah, bring in Medina. I'll pay him $1,000 an hour to just like take body shots from me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun with a human punching bag, but that's what he is. So yeah, Dusko, Opened up minus 210, currently minus 300. Medina opened up plus 180, currently plus 250. And like I said, I think this line might be a little short. It's like, let's be honest, like let's look at who's knocking out. Let's look at who's knocking out Dusko. Mansour Abdul-Malik, right?
Yeah.
Christian Leroy Duncan, but that was an injury. Chidi and Jaquani, that guy hits pretty hard.
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked out by Gregory Rodriguez. And then he lost to Punahele Soriano. So, yeah, I mean, should be Medina. So they opened up the over-under at 1.5, which really surprised me because the durability of Medina. And the over got just smacked. The over 1.5 went from minus 110 to minus 239. So the over got crushed. Probably should be a 2.5. And the under 1.5 is now plus 199, it looks like.
Yeah, they probably will change it to a 2.5 then.
Yeah, they should. Absolutely. Because Medina's not finishing anybody ever. And Dusko's definitely not finishing Medina on the feet. It would have to be on the mat.
Yeah, that's where the finish would come for sure. You're not knocking this guy out on the feet unless you're like a human statue that came to life like a David Gauthier.
Yeah, it had to be like a sub or like a TKO, ref seen enough type thing. How is Medina not plus 10,000 every fight? He can't land a punch or take anybody down. How is he ever winning a fight? I can't imagine what a Medina win looks like. It'd have to be like a Homer Simpson type thing, but even then he'd have to finish somebody, and I just can't imagine it in my head.
Dude, what does a Jose Medina win look like, Brady? One word: hilarious.
It'd be extremely hilarious. It'd be
We've
absolutely
been talking about
hilarious.
it for months.
I know.
And can you imagine? And just think, let's say Dusko blows this.
Yeah.
He would have to quit Twitter.
He would.
He would have to quit Twitter. He would probably have to move to some Southeast Asian country, and they'd probably even make fun of him there. You didn't you lose to a guy that's it's a fucking actual heavy bag.
How do you lose to heavy? How do you lose to a heavy bag?
It would be getting knocked out at the gym by the heavy bag, and you just didn't see it coming.
Maybe you break your hands on it. I don't know. Maybe Dusko's going to break his hands, and they got to stop the fight. You can't continue. That's Medina's path this weekend. Dusko's hands break from hitting Medina in the face. I could see it. You never know.
Back after the second round, I broke both hands.
I can't continue. Oh God! But yeah, very interesting stuff. Medina is a Bolivian bar fighter. He doesn't actually train. I think he's training, but I'm crying of laughter. We got Moyes in the building. Medina versus Brundage will sell out a football stadium. What a fight that would be. Yes, that's the path. Legal need. Yes. Does Dusko like steak or yachts?
That's probably why it's only minus 300.
Right. Oh, gosh. Dusko was the first person to knock out Michelle Pereira. The second person was the Darce Knight. Kawadakis, believe it or not.
Wow, yeah.
Fun fact. I think the punching bag is going to win. Dusko is terrible. I agree. I think Dusko is terrible, but it's how does Medina win, though?
It would be interesting. I'm not exactly sure how Medina wins any fight at this level against anybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would have to be somebody that just literally just gassed out after one round. No, he could beat Nick Klein.
Yeah.
He could beat Nick Klein. Nick Klein has about 2 fucking minutes of cardio. That's the fight to make. Sean Shelby, put down those phones that you're watching Alice Pereira tape on and fucking put that fight together. That's the fight because somebody has to win. It probably would wind up a draw, but somebody has to win. Nick Klein either gets a first round submission or Medina finishes that dude because he gasses out. Yeah.
That would be a good fight.
That's the one. That's the fight we got to see because that's the one fight that Jose Medina could win at this level.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, if he can survive those first couple minutes, absolutely. Anybody could win. Todorovic, second round TKO, cash it. UFC is going to do an event in Serbia, which is why they want Dusko to stick around. Okay.
You'd think
Very.
Croatia, though, man. Like, if the UFC is going to go to one place, you'd think it would be Croatia and not Serbia.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. It'd be great if they went to Serbia or Croatia.
Hey, bud, how was your Saturday? My Saturday was actually pretty good. The fights were early, so got to watch the fights and got to do a lot of Dana White's Contender Series tape, looking at this card and kind of relax Saturday night, which was awesome. Nerds got put in their place. They did. Let's see if Gene Silva can bounce back for him here in this main event. All right. Oh, no. Don't talk about Nick like that. We're friends and he's blue collar as well.
Dude, I bet on Nick Klein. I bet on Nick Klein the last fight. You know, I mean, the guys, and he might not even have bad cardio. It might have been an adrenaline dump, but seeing a UFC fighter with nothing left in the tank after 2.5 minutes is bad. It's really bad. And I mean, like, I got a ton of respect for Nick Klein. He's got great grappling. He's got solid wrestling, and he can finish fights early, but you know, gassing out in the UFC at 2.5 minutes is it's a bad look.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. We got Rafa Garcia going against Jared Gordon. We got Garcia, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach. Gordon, 37 years old, 5'9" with a 68-inch reach. We got Garcia 6 years younger. Gordon with a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Garcia is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Shakar Close. Decision win against Mahashate, a decision win against Clay Guida, and a knockout loss against Grant Dawson, and a decision win against Vince Pichel. As far as Jared Gordon, he is 2-1 no contest in his last 5 fights, a decision loss to Paddy Pimblett, no contest against Green, a knockout win against Mark Matson, a decision loss against Hackbrast, and then a knockout win against Moises. So, yeah, Gordon at 37 years old, I'd argue this is the best version of Gordon we've ever seen in his entire career. And I know you're looking at the record, it's like, oh, he's 2-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Well, I thought he won the Paddy fight, and I absolutely thought he won
the Paddy fight.
Yeah, I thought he won the Paddy fight. I thought he won the Hackbrast fight, and he knocked out Moises. He knocked out Mark Matson. He's now all of a sudden at 37 years old flashing power, which you typically don't see that out of Gordon. You know, very good cardio, you know, grappling the back pocket, good pressure, good cardio, good pace. Great volume over the course of 15 minutes. He'll come forward. The chin's holding up, you know, these days as well. I mean, Jared Gordon at 37 years old, looking career best in my opinion. So, yeah, liking Gordon. Where's this line at? Not loving the line. I mean, around minus 300 for – money came in on Garcia. He was minus 300 now. Minus 240 for Gordon. I think he definitely should be favored here. But, I mean, Garcia's not a bad fighter by any means. So, should be interesting. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I think Gordon's going to run through him. This guy's fighting incredibly right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the level of striking that he's seen in his recent fights is very high. And he's winning those exchanges against Paddy Pimblett. He's winning a lot of those exchanges against Nasrat Haqparast. And that was a very close fight, very difficult fight to call. But Nasrat Haqparast, I mean, didn't he fight Rafa?
Yeah, a while back.
Well, and didn't he like just run through him?
I think he 30-27, but Garcia. So I think Garcia took that fight on short notice.
Okay, yeah, because I remember them fighting, and I remember being like, I remember thinking Rafa might have had a chance if he got his wrestling going, but like he was not nowhere close to Haqparast on the feet. So right now with Gordon, I think that his striking is finally starting to flash some power, which makes him a scary dude because the guy's a phenomenal minute winner. He's 11-2 to the decision, and he should be 13-0 to the decision as a professional. And really good top game if he's able to get on top of you, and great ground and pound, endless cardio. The boxing is really good and tight, really good defense, and very accurate on the feet. 49.7% distance striking accuracy, high volume, defensively responsible. Good minute winner and moment winner on the ground. Yeah, I like Jared Gordon here a lot. I can't think of one area where Garcia is better than Gordon other than the fact that he is 6 years younger, and that's statistically significant. And he's got a 2-inch reach advantage, which is also statistically significant. But outside of that, I don't think he's winning minutes or moments on the feet against Jared Gordon. I don't think he's going to win minutes or moments in the clinch against Jared Gordon. And I think Jared is the better offensive and defensive wrestler here. So I think that this is going to be Jared Gordon all day.
Yeah, I think there's only one area where Garcia is better, and it's durability, but I don't think that's going to matter because Garcia has no power.
Garcia has no power. All of his wins that were finishes came by submission on the regional scene. And he does have a knockout. I don't know who that was against and whether it mattered or not.
Yeah. So that was always the worry for me for Gordon was that durability, but not really worried about it here. So yeah, seems like a pretty straightforward Jared Gordon.
Agreed.
Probably by decision, but I mean, this guy's knocking people out now, apparently. Really weird to see.
Yeah, he is flashing that power. I mean, but I do think decision is the way, but you never know. You might get like a 700+ knockout prop for Garcia, and he is, I mean, like, dude, he was clocking hack press with that left hook, too. That left hook of his is nasty, dude.
Yeah, it looked like I was watching that fight, and it was looking like he was about to break and finish hack press late second round.
Yeah. And even Pimblett, who is super durable, was eating left hooks like crazy from Jared Gordon in all 3 rounds of that fight, but mostly in the first. So, yeah, Gordon might be able to get the finish here, but Garcia is very durable, only been finished once as a professional, and it came from Grant Dawson, who is just, I mean, Grant Dawson finished Jared Gordon too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Garcia is extremely tough. That's probably his best attribute is that toughness. So yeah, Gordon minus 240, Garcia plus 205. Money coming in on Garcia. He was as high as plus 275 earlier today. The over/under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 300. The under 2.5 is plus 245. Yeah, I think this goes over at a high clip, but just beware because Gordon apparently has power now. Gordon is buying me a new truck. There you go. I think if Gordon just mixes it up, he will win. I don't even think he needs to mix it up. I think he's the better striker. Does Garcia do anything better than Gordon? Easy win for Gordon. Yeah, I don't think he does. Oh, the only thing I'll say is Gordon's been getting screwed a lot lately. Like there could be some shenanigans with these scorecards.
Yeah, this sport that we bet on doesn't even need to be shenanigans. Like sometimes just some crazy shit happens.
And it's Noche UFC. I mean, who are they going to be cheering for? I mean, the Mexican guy, Garcia.
Yeah.
So that'd be the only concern. Like, there could be a robbery in place.
Wow.
Bro, I accidentally bet Garcia thinking Jared Gordon was dropping down to lightweight, had to cash out.
No, he didn't drop down. He's been at lightweight for a while now. And he used to fight at featherweight. And that's when he was getting knocked out, Brady. Because I think that cut down to 145 was really hurting him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard Gordon is back on the crystal.
There's no fucking way he is back on the crystal.
No.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be the craziest thing, but, like that would be.
Oh, you got to confuse with Jared Gooden. Oh, no. Jared Gooden got.
Oh, you got. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would have bet Garcia too, actually, but. Jared Gooden retired.
Oh,
he retired. He had a long career. He had a ton of fights, man. So, yeah, he just recently retired. So, shout out the Night Train.
Yeah. We got the Flat Earth Grappler with the 1999. Appreciate you, Flat Earth Grappler, saying, just had the best gambling weekend of my life. There you go. Capped off by Bills plus 4,000. No spoilers. Live. Thank you, gents, for all you do for the community. Plus 4,000. Live? That's ridiculous.
That must have been quite a comeback. I can't wait to watch that fucking game now, man.
I mean, people are saying it's one of the best games of all time.
No shit. All right.
Yeah.
Sold.
So it's a good thing you recorded it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. Appreciate you, Flat Earth Grappler. And it's plus 4,000. It's crazy. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It's going to be Kelvin Gastelum going against Dustin Stoltzfus. We got Gastelum, 33 years old, 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. Stoltzfus, 33 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. Same age. Stoltzfus with a 3-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Kelvin Gastelum, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Jared Cannonier. Decision win against Chris Curtis. Submission loss to Sean Brady. Decision win against Daniel Rodriguez. And a decision loss to Joe Pyfer. As far as Dustin Stoltzfus, he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out by Abus Magomedov. Beat Punahele Soriano by submission. Lost to Bruno Ferreira by knockout. beat Marc-Andre Barrio by knockout, and then lost to Nursultan Ruziboev by decision. So I don't know what to do with this fight because I've been out on Kelvin Gastelum for the longest time now. And yeah, I think he's probably the more skilled fighter. But I'm looking at these two guys and it's like, who cares more? It's got to be Stoltzfus, right? I mean, Stoltzfus definitely cares more about his career. And you got Gastelum like minus 250 here. So what are your thoughts on this fight? Honestly, it's a fight I could care less about, and it's on the main card. Pretty weird.
This is another fight, Brady, that I think they made late. I don't remember this one really being on the card for much longer than 2 weeks, maybe. So this is short. This is fairly short notice for both guys. And that's extremely concerning for Gastelum, who, I mean, has his diet and exercise regimen obviously has never been where it needed to be for a UFC fighter. I'd love to be in the shape that Gastelum is in, but I'm not in the UFC, so nobody's weighing me in every day. But, I mean, Kelvin's much higher level than Dustin. Let's just face it. I mean, look at the level of competition. Dustin's been out there against guys with combined records of 49 and 43. Kelvin's been out there against guys with combined records of 244 and 152. So if Kelvin Gastelum lost to Dustin Stoltzfus, in a very similar way to, just like I said just last week, if Brad Tavares loses to Robert Britchek, it would be by far the worst loss of his career. But Kelvin is pushing 34. I think he made his UFC debut when he was around 21, Brady, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while now, man. I mean, like, at least, he's got 24 UFC fights since the year 2013. There might even be a couple before that. So, but, I think Kelvin's better on the feet for sure. Can Dustin maybe get a takedown or two? Potentially, yeah. But, I mean, like, Pfeiffer really wasn't even able to get a lot of top time against Kelvin, if I remember correctly. I remember he almost got Kelvin out of there in the first round, had him in big trouble. But, Stoltzfus doesn't have Pfeiffer power, and I don't think that he has the kind of, like, he doesn't have like Sean Brady grappling either. You look at these guys that are beating Kelvin Gastelum, and I don't think that there's a lot of, corollaries that we can draw between Dustin Stoltzfus and the guys that have been beating Kelvin Gastelum in fights. And even look at the wins over Daniel Rodriguez, Chris Curtis. I mean, if Dustin Stoltzfus beat those guys, they'd be the best wins of his career.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think that this is a big step up for Stoltzfus. But like you said, man, the guy is finding ways to win up here a little bit. He's kind of dangerous. He hits deceptively hard, and he's pretty durable. I think that this fight's going to go to decision, dude. What is the over 2.5 rounds here?
Yeah, it's probably the better way of attacking it. Minus 150. That's not bad.
Yeah, that is kind of for a Gastelum fight. I mean, you're not finishing Gastelum. That's
not by knockout.
Not by knockout. And I mean, it's not like Stoltzfus is going to be, Damian Maia level grappling here over Gastelum. So, like, I kind of feel like this one goes to the scorecards, probably Gastelum by decision with the better striking. But I don't know. Maybe Dustin can make this kind of close.
Maybe. I mean, this fight's brutal. Like, God. I'm not like minus 250 on Kelvin Gastelum, but yeah, I mean, he should win the fight. I mean, it would be his worst loss by a mile. Like, it'd be his worst loss ever. Like, it would be.
But when you're at that point in your career where you've got a lot of miles on the engine, I just wonder what it's like to be 33 but have 24 UFC fights.
Yeah.
There's that feeling earlier in your career where you're making that walkout and the crowd's going nuts and like it's the biggest moment of your life, and then 10 years later it's just a fucking job. And it's a job where you're getting your face beaten in, and you're going to the hospital after work. It's a hard fucking job. And I think some people just lose the passion for it. And if Gastelum had any passion for this sport, he'd be fighting at 170.
Mm-hmm. And he said he was going to, but that never happened.
Well, no, he did he fought Brady at 170. He fought he was supposed to fight D-Rod at 170. That fight wound up being at middleweight though.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't like I don't know if he cares anymore, man. It'd be hard to care after fucking this many years.
Oh, he definitely doesn't care, but will it matter? Probably not. We'll see.
Yeah,
but yeah, I said
sure
that, like you
does.
said, I said the same thing about Tavares. Like if Tavares loses to Breachek, it's his worst loss ever.
Yep. But
So,
Breachek does have bricks for hands. I'm
yeah,
not sure what
he
Stoltzfus
does.
has.
Yeah. He does have bricks for hands. So yeah, Gastelum probably wins, but I will not be betting on this fight, and I can't believe it's on the main card. Jeez. All right. Moving on to the next fight. We have a good fight. We got Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. We got Suarez, 34 years old, 5'5" with a 66-inch reach. Lemos, 38 years old, 5'4" with a 65-inch reach. Suarez 4 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Suarez is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Knockout win against Carla Esparza. Decision win against Nina Ansaroff. A submission win against Montana De La Rosa. Submission win against Jessica Andrade, and then a decision loss to Zhang Wei Li. As far as Lemos, she is 2-3, or 3-2 in her last 5 fights. A knockout win against Marina Rodriguez. Decision loss to Zhang Wei Li. Decision win against Mackenzie Dern. Submission loss to Verna Jandaroba, and then a decision win against Yasmin Lucindo. So we got Suarez as the second biggest favorite on the card. And yeah, I can't believe like Lemos is still going at 38 years old in the strawweight division, still going strong, still fighting the top of the division. But I feel like this is just a very, very bad matchup for Lemos. Suarez should be able to get takedowns pretty free here, and Suarez is an absolute animal to deal with on the mat. Like even in the first round of the Zhang Wei Li fight, Suarez was able to take her down early, control her for most of the round up until Zhang Wei Li was able to reverse her. But yeah, I think Suarez should probably make this look pretty easy, and the line does indicate that. The line kind of surprised me initially, but after digging into it a little bit, I think this is a great matchup for Suarez to kind of get back on track. And yeah, I mean, Suarez could potentially be champion still one day. Like Zhang Wei Li moved up. Like this is her chance. I mean, Verna Jandaroba, Mackenzie Dern are fighting for a title coming up here. Like Suarez is definitely live to be champion in the near future. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
The question is that the body's still willing, right? Because Tatiana's been through it, man. She's had such a tough career. She probably should have been champion 6 or 7 years ago. She was that good. And then it was cancer. I don't know if she had cancer once or twice, Brady. Yeah. But I mean, I know that I'm pretty sure that cancer eliminated or destroyed her Olympic career. She could have potentially been an Olympic medalist if it weren't for cancer. She beats cancer, comes back to MMA. I think she hurts her knee, rehabs from that. I think she might have gotten cancer again. Goes through the chemo, comes back, wins some fights, and then she blows out her knee again. I mean, at this point, she's 34 years old, Brady. Oh, her body might be breaking down. This might be the end of the road for Tatiana Suarez. It could be. She could go out there and get destroyed by Lemos and hang him up. I'm not joking. Because her body has been through just an absurd amount of adversity, and she's fought through all of it. And it's just getting to that point, where you got to wonder if the body's going to hold up, because we know what Amanda Lemos is. This is somebody that you do not want to stand in front of in the octagon. She's got serious power, legitimate power for the women's strawweight division. So, but Tatiana's still one of the best wrestlers, in any division in the UFC. So the question is she going to still be able to go out there and get that control time, take the fight into where she's going to be most comfortable? And once she gets it there, is she going to be able to find the finish? Because Amanda Lemos is going to be able to hit hard in any of the rounds. So, Tatiana does not want to get clipped by this girl. And, just a bad look last time out against, and I know it's Zhang Wei Li, but that looked like a fighter who had been put through crazy amount of adversity over the last 10 years. And just in the biggest fight of her life, the body just wasn't willing. I've never seen Tatiana look like that before. And I don't know if it was Tatiana not being the Tatiana that we know, or if it was just Zhang Wei Li being at a different level. And
I think it was Zhang Wei. I mean, Lemos got 50-43 by Zhang Wei Li.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she did look washed.
She looked it, and the question is she washed? Because, just because you look good, you look terrible against Zhang Weili, it doesn't mean you can't bounce back the next time.
Yeah.
But this isn't a 25-year-old fighter who's never been injured. This is a girl who's had a couple of different knee replacements and has had chemotherapy a couple of different times. And that just destroys all the healthy cells in your body. So, yeah, I think that there's some reasons, there are some questions, unanswered questions on the Tatiana Suarez side that are all outside the octagon, because we know inside the octagon, we know how dominant of a fighter that she is. And that's what you do, Brady. If you want to make money in this sport, you bet on dominant fighters. So, Tatiana Suarez is probably the side here, but if she's not 100%, if she's not the old Tatiana, then you're probably going to overpay for her money line here.
Yeah. And if it was healthy Tatiana, like she'd be minus 5,000 here, but yeah. That's why she's only minus 400. So she opened up minus 300, currently minus 400. Lemos opened up plus 250, currently minus 330. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5, minus 105. The under 2.5 is minus 115. Can't wait for this fight. Verna is beautiful. She is beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Minus 400 to minus 450. Suarez got to be at least a minus 2. Yeah, she's a big, big favorite. Suarez via aggressive milking. Ouch. Could be ouch. Suarez and Lemos fight week. Get the lubes ready. What?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you get the lubes ready? Gastelum finds the chin for the first finish. When's the last time Gastelum finished somebody? Years.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Wow. We talked about it. She did look completely washed in that Zhang Weili fight. Absolutely. Lemos coach is going to have Lemos attach the body in the openings. Attack the body in the openings. Lemos gets taken down by everyone. Yeah, her takedown defense is
not great.
59%.
59%, but Tatiana is just an incredible wrestler. She's getting her takedowns at 47.5%.
Yeah, her takedown defense could be 1,000%, and Tatiana would get her down.
Yeah.
Got subbed on the feet in the Andrade fight. That was the most handsome fight of all time, that Andrade fight. It was a shame that it finished so quickly. Wanted to see a lot more of that. But all right, it is now time for the co-main event here. Rob Font versus David Martinez. We got Rob Font, 38 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Martinez, 27 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. Martinez, 11 years younger. Going to be Font with a 2-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Rob Font is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Adrian Yanez. A decision loss to Corey Sandhagen. Decision loss to Davison Figueiredo. A decision win against Kyler Phillips. And a decision win against Gene Matsumoto. As far as David Martinez, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Simon Oliveira and knocked him out in the first round there. So for me, this kind of feels like, and I like David Martinez. I like him. I think he's a really solid prospect. I think he's going to have a lot of success in the UFC. And I've kind of counted out Rob Font in his last several fights. I think I definitely picked against Rob Font in the Matsumoto fight. I picked against Rob Font in the Phillips fight, Figueiredo fight, Sandhagen fight, and the Yanez fight. I keep picking against this guy. But yeah, he definitely proved me wrong in the Yanez fight. Knocked out Yanez in the first round. He looked really good in the Phillips fight. And then he looked really good in the Matsumoto fight as well. So I think Rob Font, even at 38 years old, has a lot left in the tank. And he can go out there and beat some of these guys that aren't quite, the level of like a Corey Sandhagen, a Davison Figueiredo, a Marlon Vera type thing. So it kind of, to me, feels like a levels fight. As long as the chin of Rob Font can hold up here, kind of feels like a levels fight to me. But money's pouring in on one David Martinez, going from plus 180 to plus 131. Font going from minus 210 to minus 151. Money is pouring in on Martinez. And I don't know if it's a little bit too soon for him. And I believe he's taken the fight. No, he's not. He was supposed to fight somebody else, though. And now he's fighting Rob Font.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different things here that have me just a little worried on the Font side. Number one is he's 11 years older than David Martinez. So that's a statistically significant, indicator that, the younger guy, when they're more than 10 years younger, wins the fight about 2/3 of the time. So he's up against that. And he's also up against a very difficult stylistic component in this fight, in that you've got a spectrum of fighters, that bell curve of fighters that you have, where you got the middle of the bell curve here at the top of it. is like the well-rounded fighter who's pretty good at everything. And, you got to kind of try to find the places where you're better than them. And then, on one side, there's like the Paul Craig, who's the pure grappler. And on the other side, there's the pure striker who has no grappling. Rob Font went from fighting a guy on one end of the spectrum in Raul Rosas Jr., who couldn't punch a hole through a piece of paper, right? And is a pure grappler with no chance to succeed in the sport unless he has grappling success, to going a guy who's never completed a takedown in practice or in a fight in David Martinez, and who's a pure striker. So Rob Font really got fucked stylistically in terms of the type of opponent that he got matched up with after training for Raul Rosas for 4 weeks. So he just had a 4-week camp where he probably literally has to throw everything that he was working on out the window, because now he's not going to, this guy Martinez is never going to shoot a takedown against him. But on the other side, look at David Martinez's last 5 opponents. Simon Oliveira. Xavier Franklin. Jose Zarauz. Axel Osuna. And Arturo Vergara. Rob Font's last 5 opponents are Gene Matsumoto, Kyler Phillips, Davison Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen, and Adrian Yanez. This line makes no sense to me. Rob Font is 2 inches taller, and he's got a 5-inch reach advantage. David Martinez is a karate-style fighter who needs range and throws a lot of kicks. Rob Font doesn't give anybody any space. He pressures forward like crazy. He stays on the volume. He jabs. He puts you on your back foot, and he's extremely durable. I mean, I feel like Font should be minus 300 here. I am completely missing something, Brady. I don't know who the fuck is betting on David Martinez against Rob Font in the year 2025. This guy has proven jack shit to me. How about you?
I mean, I'm kind of pissed off at him. I mean, I had his KO 2-3 against Simon Oliveira. He knocked him out in round 1. Not too happy about that. But other than that, he hasn't proven anything. Didn't
Simon Oliveira almost die?
Yeah, there's like
a 2-year layoff going to that fight.
Yeah.
Like he was literally on a deathbed, and came back to fighting and got knocked out by Simon Oliveira, and now they're almost going to make him a pick'em against Rob Font after he was supposed to fight Quang Lee and wasn't much of a favorite. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I should just be throwing 3 units on Font right now. I don't get this line at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. I don't get it either. I mean, Martinez is good. Like, he's decent, but I mean, Rob Font. I mean, that Matsumoto win, I think would, if he beats Martinez this weekend, I would rate that Matsumoto win a lot higher than this win coming up.
Yeah, the Kyler Phillips win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Yanez win was a good win. Yeah.
People talk about Rob Font like he's not durable. This guy's never been knocked out in 30 professional fucking fights. He's never been knocked out. Look at who he's been in there against. Now, sure, he's been dropped in a bunch of fights. I mean, he's been dropped 5 times in 19 UFC fights. We've seen it before.
Well, most of those were in the Vera fight.
Yeah, and a lot of them were in the Vera fight. And I mean, like, what would Marlon Vera do to David Martinez?
He would take him down and sub him instantly.
They wouldn't sanction that fight in a prison. So like, I feel like this is Font, man. And just stylistically too, he pressures forward nonstop. He's got one of the best jabs in the entire sport. And he's fought one of the toughest strengths of schedule in one of the deepest divisions in the UFC for a very long time. So I like Font quite a bit here.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, money's pouring in on Martinez. Just nonstop. Just keeps coming.
I hope it keeps coming.
It won't stop coming. Rob Font was. We were talking about this fight, I think last night or the night before. Rob Font was like minus 210, and now he's minus 151. Martinez was like plus 180. Now he's plus 131. The over-under sit at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 300, and the under 2.5 is plus 245. I think the soars over. Both guys very durable.
Yeah, very durable, and it's probably going to be mostly a striking match. So
yeah, very interesting stuff. Fabrant, who's David Martinez? Martinez is good. He is good, but this is this is an astronomical step up. I just logged in. Why is Brady just grunt? That's kind of what I do.
Yeah,
time to time.
One of the top grunts in the MMA capper game.
Yeah, you don't see grunting like that.
Mm-mm.
Rob Font's chin is your missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, that's what he's saying about that I'm missing.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been dropped. He's, we know that. He's been dropped a few times.
Yes. Rob Font, not Dan. I mean, Dan Ige clearly threw the Pitbull fight. He clearly threw it. Man, can't believe he threw that fight. I sadly think Font will get caught. Okay. Maybe. I mean, is Martinez some murderous power puncher? I don't know.
Against the guys he's fought on the regional scene, I mean, like, he looked really good against Jose Zarauz. I got a feeling Font might beat that guy too, though. Yeah,
that's a good point. It wouldn't be round one sub for Vera. It would take a round for Cheeto Vera to kind of grow into the fight.
Yeah, that is true.
It'd be round two.
But Cheeto's kind of a counter striker, and I think that's the reason that he caught Font so many times, is because Font is so aggressive.
Yeah. Could Font be? I mean, I guess that's the question: is Rob Font washed?
Yeah, and I think that's what some people are thinking.
But how can you watch the Matsumoto fight or the Phillips fight and think that, though?
And those guys are young. Matsumoto is actually younger than Martinez.
Yeah, I can't. Watch
same thing with Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips is around the same age.
Yeah. So we'll see. I can't watch the Matsumoto fight and Phillips fight and think Font's washed. I can't do it. And I picked against him in both those fights, and he made me look silly, especially the Phillips fight. Jeez,
dude, he was plus 300 against Kyler Phillips.
Massive dog.
Clearly won that fight too.
Yeah. All right, it is main event time. Before we do so, if you guys have not already, be sure to smash the like button for us. Let's get those likes up. Let's check the likes. I know. There's football going on. Game of the year. Only 95 likes. We're 5 likes away from 100, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing.
How many live viewers?
429, and they split them up: 225 on YouTube and 204 on X.
95 likes. Well, it is what it is.
No, it isn't what it is. It isn't what it is. I mean, we should be getting...
We pissed a lot of people off with those graphics last week. Remember, I picked Benoit Saint Denis. People might be mad at us right now.
Yeah, people could be mad. So yeah, hopefully we can get 100 likes by the time we get out. Oh, we got 102. There we go.
All right. There we go.
Yeah, thank you for the likes. If you guys are watching on the replay, be sure to leave a comment. As long as you're not bitching, as long as you're not moaning, we love the comment. We set a record last week, Weezy, on terms of comments last week. 114 comments last week on the video.
Wow. Yeah, and a lot of it was hate.
A lot of it was bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I had people threatening to hurt me for picking BSD, so.
I know. I mean, whenever you get that much crap for a pick, I kid you not, it always is right. It's happened so many times. If you get crap for a pick, you're on the right side.
Oh, dude, when I picked Ranier de Ritter over Whitaker, some people were really pissed off at me for that one, too.
Yeah. No, I bet. So yeah, leave a comment again, as long as you're not bitching and moaning, because I have a wife, I have a kid, and trust me, the amount of bitching, the amount of moaning that I get on a day-to-day basis is through the roof. So to come on YouTube, go to the comment section and just see the bitching and the moaning. I quite frankly just ruined my entire week. Just the amount of bitching and moaning. Oh God.
Yeah.
Just hate the bitching and the moaning, man. But anyway, let's get to this main event. We got Diego Lopez going against Gene Silva. We got Lopez, 30 years old, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Gene Silva, 28 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. Gene Silva, 2 years younger. Lopez with a 4-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Lopez is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Pat Sabatini. Knockout win against Sadiq Youssef. Decision win against Dan Ige. Decision win against Brian Ortega. And a decision loss to Alexander Volkanovski. As far as Gene Silva, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against poor Weston Wilson. Knockout win against Charles Jourdain. Knockout win against Drew Dober. Knockout win against Melsik Bagdasaryan. And then a submission win against Bryce Mitchell. So yeah, I kind of feel like it's a tough match for Lopez here. Lopez isn't going to get takedowns. He doesn't really wrestle. I'd be curious to know the numbers on this, Wheezy. How many takedowns has Lopez completed in the UFC?
Diego Lopez has only attempted over 7 UFC fights, 5 takedowns, and he's gotten 2 of them.
He's gotten 2.
Yeah.
I don't love that. And plus, Gene Silva's not easy to take down. We saw that in the Bryce Mitchell fight, right? So I don't think Lopez is going to offensively grapple here. So I think this fight's going to take place on the feet. And although I do think Lopez is a very dangerous striker, I think he's a very good striker. He's also defensively irresponsible, and Gene Silva just seems to have the death touch. I mean, what he did to Charles Jourdain, and I know Charles Jourdain, he's not the best fighter in the world. He's a little bit weird as well. He's next level durable, and he knocked him down in the second round. He knocked him down in the first round, and then finished him with that uppercut in the second round. Knocked out Melsik Bagdasaryan. Finished Drew Dober. I mean, I went back and watched that Dober fight. Some of the shots Gene Silva was landing on Drew Dober, I mean, knocks out 95% of the division. It was ridiculous. Ended up being a doctor stoppage. I just really worry about whether or not Lopez is going to be able to take some of these shots coming his way. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think this is a phenomenal fight. I think it's going to be a war. And I think it's going to be a fight that takes place on the feet pretty much the entire time. I think these guys are going to probably pull out their dicks. I think they're going to measure them, and I think it's going to come down to who has the bigger dick. And I'm leaning towards Silva having the bigger dick. I mean, how can you not? How can you not watch this guy and think he has a massive dick?
Yeah, man, he looks like he's got a lot of confidence. He's got that BDE, and Lopez is somebody that I don't know, man. His performances haven't really resonated with me yet. I felt like that Volkanovski fight, he got handed a title shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a title shot off of wins over Ige and Ortega, who, looked like a war prisoner on the scale for that fight. So, and then he goes out there against Volkanovski and literally does jack shit. Like, for how many rounds? He didn't even try. He wasn't even throwing. Volkanovski's a guy who doesn't really have power. And I was like, holy shit, he's been knocked out in his last 2 fights. This guy hasn't fought in a while. And I remember betting the under in that fight, thinking if Diego Lopez has half a fucking brain, he's going to go after this dude because he has way more power. He's way taller. He's way longer. And if he gets out over his feet and gets taken down, he'll be on the ground where he's extremely dangerous. He did none of that, showed sub-zero fight IQ, and decided to try to win minutes against maybe one of the best minute winners in the history of not just the featherweight division, but of the sport of the UFC. I mean, one of the most dominant fighters in the history of the UFC, a guy who never got finishes at the highest level, out there, and Lopez is out there trying to, outpoint this guy on the feet. It was one of the dumbest fucking performances ever.
Dude, I was there live. Imagine having to sit there live and watch that.
Oh God, really?
5 minutes. We were all pissed.
Yeah, that was a dog shit fight and a dog shit performance. And then Lopez tries in the 5th round and hurts him, doesn't he?
I forget. I was really drunk. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember it. I don't remember the fight.
Yeah, I
very
don't remember the Dricus Duplessis Hamzat fight either. I was so drunk at that point of the night. And he kept getting taken down 10 seconds into the round, and then I'd be like yelling at everybody in the guy can't stop a fucking takedown, So I mean, you probably didn't see any of this fight either because it was a dog shit fight. So yeah, I gotta wonder what Lopez is gonna do this time around because he just blew the biggest fight of his life, and he's got to try to get back to the title now. And in order to do it, he's got to go through this guy. And this guy's a psychopath.
Oh, God.
This guy's terrifying. He just got married, didn't he?
What? Somebody
Yeah.
married this guy? Who had married this
That's
freak?
what I said. That's what I was just gonna say. Like,
Oh my God.
I mean, like, we like to gamble, Brady, but whoever let this dude put a ring on her finger, she's a risky gal. I'll tell you that right now.
Playing a dangerous game, marrying that guy.
You got that right, but here we are, man. I mean, like, Silva's he's got like this crazy aura about him right now, and he hits so hard. He's durable. He's got pretty good takedown defense. I mean, he should be able to win the striking exchanges of this fight. I don't know if he's going to look minus 250 though. Do you?
Minute for minute, no. But he could if it like knocks him out. But minute for minute, it should be pretty competitive.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think he's going to have to find that moment at some point, and it's not going to be easy to do against Diego, who's never been finished at the UFC level. But it's still, I don't know. Lopez is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt with no wrestling, so it's like the grappling, the length, it does very little good for him. And at distance, I'd just like to see him throw more. I don't know if his power's for real. I mean, Sadiq Youssef is, I don't know if his chin's for real anymore. I mean, knocking out Pat Sabatini is really not a big deal. It's a great win. Pat Sabatini is a phenomenal fighter, but anybody in the division could knock that guy out if they hit him clean. He's one of the least durable guys in the division. So, I'm just not sure. I think that Silva's resume is actually a little bit more impressive, even though the names on Lopez's resume are actually better, actually a lot better. But I still feel like Gene Silva's wins are just more impressive for some reason, the way that he's winning.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Silva open at minus 250, currently minus 250. Lopez open up plus 210, currently plus 210 there. Yeah, this is going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. This is a rough card. I mean, some of these fights, and to be fair, I mean, what can you do? I mean, a lot of these fights got thrown together last second, but just a weird card with a ton of weird matchups. I mean, this card kind of fell apart.
It did. And sometimes that happens, man. This is the kind of sport we're in where, these guys get injured all the time. So a lot of injuries here, a lot of last minute replacements, a lot of, different opponents, 2 weeks out. The Gastelum fight's a new fight. The Hernandez Ferreira fight's a new fight. Font's got a new opponent. Martinez has got a new opponent. Quang Lee's got a new opponent. I mean, we got a week off next week, and then we got a 9-week stretch. This might be a week where we might want to keep our powder dry, keep it a little bit close to the vest, and see if we can find some spots that stick out.
Yeah. Weird week for sure. All right. So let's see what we got in the chat here. Silva decision. These main events have been going the distance because both fighters are so skilled. The bitchin' and the mo. Yeah, shout out to the bitchers and the mo. You gotta love them. Gotta love them. Gene Silva is lame. Gene Silva, the king of the fighting nerd. Yeah, I mean he's the last one that's hasn't lost yet. Everyone else has lost. Very interesting. Silva KO round 3. Watching the Dober fight right now. That fight was ridiculous. Poor Drew. I mean, it ruined the chin of Drew Dober. I mean, after that, he got knocked out by Manuel Torres. Silva might be more dick than man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The only thing I'm going to bitch about is the lack of access to skincare for your international viewers. We deserve glowing skin too. We're working on it. Daz. I got you. Or Dawes, I got you, man. We got Cedricus Dumas and the Cedricus. If you want to come on, we got a couple minutes left. If you want to come on, we can talk about the fight a little bit. He says, "Yo, it's Cedric. I'm doing no sober September. Tune in next week. Gonna be a movie. Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
Apparently, he's gonna go out with a bang. Whatever that means, I don't know, but we're gonna have to see. Never been that high on Diego. What would Gene Silva do to Brian Ortega?
Ortega would have to make it past the scale first, and I think the scale would actually kill him. So
that wouldn't be sanctioned. Yeah, Clint's on Dumas 3 units, but Clint's been heating up, so maybe he's onto something. I know I won't be betting on Dumas though, or that fight probably.
Yeah, just the fight. I think I'm going to be staying away from in general.
Dumas spelled his own name wrong. What did he spell it? Cedric. That's right. Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that is right.
I think he got it right. Good for him. Good for him. Just barely. How many likes for Uncle Weezy to fight Gene Silva?
Oh no! I mean, it's going to take money, and nobody wants to see it. That's the thing.
I don't want to
see that.
No, I don't want to be in the same zip code as this guy. I mean, this guy is terrifying. Something's seriously wrong with him.
Yeah, I think I'd rather fight Protes. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't even want to be in the
same. Have mercy on me,
Yeah, I mean, Gene
I'll
Silva.
be like, hey, I'll give you a couple packs of cigarettes, just make it a body shot, that knocks me out,
Oh gosh, I hope he's not planning on bringing a weapon into the cage.
Oh God, man,
going out with a bang. I hope not.
He's getting patted down by Mike Beltran before he gets into the cage, and they're finding foreign objects in the shorts, like he's Cowboy Bob Orton out there about to do a Pearl Harbor job.
All right, it's time to get serious. All right. So last week we hit the piping in brutal fashion. I mean, Modestus knocked out Craig after the round ended. We hit the milking. C took down Hibero, milked him hard. The parlay did not come through. We lost a leg first and foremost, and then Brad Tavares also lost. So let's go 3 for 3 this week. So for the parlay, we got a lot of options. I'll pick a leg. You pick a leg. We'll put it together. We'll get plus money, and we're gonna hit it this week. What are you thinking for a parlay?
Oh, I know definitely my leg is gonna be minus 240 Jared Gordon.
Okay. Geez, what happens if we put together Dusko with Gordon? Does that get plus money or not?
Let's see. Dusko at minus 300. Jared Gordon at minus 240 gets us minus 112.
God. Okay, we'll go something else.
That hits though, dude.
Yeah, it should. Should we say F plus money and just do that then?
Dude, I mean, like, imagine the scenes if Dusko Todorovic lost a fight to Jose Medina. We get to talk about that 2 weeks from now on Stat Diggers because we got next week off, and we could actually like prepare a comedy routine, a film, a short film or something like that. Maybe I'll fly out to you and we'll do like an in-person breakdown of how Jose Medina won a UFC fight.
Okay, we can do that. We have an off week next week, so we maybe if Jose Medina
wins, maybe we'll fly Avery out. We'll have a big fun time with the three of us, like making fun of Dusko for losing to Medina.
All right, we'll have a whole special. A whole show will be about that fight. Okay, we'll do that. Dusko Todorovic and Jared Gordon, the Stat Diggers parlay.
Let's go.
All right, now it is time for the milking and the piping. We'll start with the piping. We got some options. We certainly have some options. Here are the options. We have Alessandro Costa potentially piping up the newcomer. Alden Correa coming in on short notice. We have Zachary Reese potentially piping up Cedricus Dumas, a guy who's, training out of a dog cage. We have Dusko Todorovic potentially piping up Medina, but that's going to be tough. I mean, Medina's not one to get piped. I think it's those two, man. I mean, Gene Silva could potentially pipe up Diego Lopez. So I think it's Gene Silva, I think it's Zachary Reese, or I think it's Alessandro Costa.
Costa, Reese, or Gene Silva, and I agree with all three.
I kind of want to do Zachary Reese, but it's also probably the riskiest one.
It probably is, man. But I kind of feel like we should do it.
Yeah, because it would be hilarious if Dumas won a fight as well.
Agreed. And I think that Reese has got some interesting striking on the feet. I think he should be able to handle Dumas there. Maybe Dumas gets takedowns, but if he does, he's gonna be fending off submission attempts from this guy.
Yep. So we'll do it. Zachary Reese to pipe SD Dumas on site. And Dumas has been getting piped on site, a lot lately. So on-site piping of the week is Zach Reese to pipe SD Dumas on site. There you go. That is the piping. Last week, Modestus got it done. He came through. This week, Zachary Reese is going to pipe SD Dumas on site. Colby saying Colton G to pipe Brady on site. I think Colton G's dead.
Yeah, I think he's haunting Brady now. He's actually haunting the house.
I think because my house has been kind of haunted the past couple weeks. Maybe it's Colton G.
But ghosts are unable to get stabby, and that's the most important thing, man. So that's good.
Joaquin Silva, if Joaquin Silva wins, it probably is the piping.
Yeah.
Silva pipes. Jesus Aguilar plus 170 against Luis Garule. If you like money, do your due diligence. Okay. Poyas is getting piped on site. I don't know if I can bet on a guy who has shorter reach than Elise Reed. Yeah, me neither. All right. So now it is time for the milking of the week, and we know the milking's been just killing it this year. So for the milking, we got a couple options. We got Tatiana Suarez could potentially milk Amanda Lemos. Dusko Todorovic could potentially milk Jose Medina. I think those are probably the two, right? Either Dusko or Suarez.
Yep. And I think, I kind of feel like Dusko, maybe Suarez. I mean, Dusko's minus 300. Suarez is minus 400. And I think that, if Dusko gets this down, and I think it'll be pretty easy for him to do that. Gaji Asulov was getting him down at will, but I'm sure Gaji Asulov's a better wrestler than Todorovic is, but still, I think Todorovic has got really good ground and pound. I think he probably takes him down, milks him, maybe even finds a submission.
Yeah, and even like Zach Reese took him down like 6 times as well. So Zach Reese not the best offensive wrestler. So Dusko Todorovic to milk Jose Medina this Saturday. All right, I'm liking it. It's kind of disgusting. Like we have Zach Reese as the piping and Dusko Todorovic as the milking, but it's like, it is kind of disgusting. But it is what it is. I mean, if he can definitely milk Medina.
Yeah, I think he can.
Suarez so milky. Yeah, but Lemos is 30. Does she have much milk left?
Yeah, there's probably not much milk left,
Yeah, I don't know. Oh dear God. Sour and chunky. Oh God, it's everywhere. We got Rodriguez in the building.
You're wrong for that.
So somebody else made a Dumas account how many Rodriguez Dumas YouTube accounts do you think there are out there? Probably
I don't know, man. Like trying to imitate the GOAT is a tall task, So
unless this is him, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It honestly is.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I really don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is. All right. So we did it. All that's left is Weezy. Let the people know where they can find you and support your work.
Twitter at MMA Weezy, YouTube Uncle Weezy, and my probability stats and content package, which has all these phenomenal stats that you see on your screen for every fight. Matchup stats, individual fighter stats, over-under betting models, prop betting models, fight write-ups, access to my Discord, access to my full card breakdown show, Balls Deep Breakdown, that I do every week, access to my prop show that I do every week called Probability, access to all the track bets, and access to my Discord. So $25 a month. You can find that in any of the description of my YouTube videos or linked on my Twitter profiles. So I'm hoping that we all stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC San Antonio, otherwise known as Noche UFC. And then we're going to have a week off, Brady, before we do like another 8 or 9 week marathon that'll take us all the way up to Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a nice big stretch there. But, geez, I'm not looking forward. I got to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow.
Oof.
Suck, yeah. And then I got to tape more Contender Series fights.
Yeah, and they're not fun to tape this week, huh? This is a lower level week.
I mean, if you like watching fights that are taped from a phone, from a, a really old phone, then yeah.
From a flip phone.
Yeah, flip phones in the shopping mall. Then
Oh God,
it's a rough week for Dana White's Contender Series. Probably one of the roughest weeks in a very long time. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. That'll be fun. My video will be out tomorrow afternoon sometime for Contender Series. And get to some last comments. We'll head out of here. I just joined. Are we heavy on Zachary? Not really. I don't think I'll have any money on Zachary's, but maybe like a total or something. Thank you as well. All right. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC Noche. We'll talk to you soon. And please, for the love of God, no bitching and no moaning. I can't deal with it this week. Please, for just 1 week, no bitching, no moan. I don't want to deal with it. See you guys later.